You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, Representative Justin Jones will get to keep his name on the ballot in Tennessee. We're going to tell you why a challenge failed last night. Plus, the Nashville Predators on to Game 6 of their Stanley Cup playoff run against the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to tell you what you can expect from the high-stakes playoff game at Bridgestone Arena.
And the rain has arrived, tracking showers throughout this morning, even a few rumbles of thunder already. How long that will last into your weekend, coming up in the forecast.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It's a Friday morning, and I'm Justin McFarland. We do begin with news from Metro Nashville. The Metro Nashville Police Department is confirming that one person was hit by a car this morning on I-40. They say it happened next to the Donaldson Pike exit, very close to Nashville International Airport. Now, crews responded to that scene around 1:45 this morning. We're told that person has been taken to the hospital. There's no word right now on whether or not the driver involved will be facing any charges. The scene, as far as we can tell, seems to be clear at this point. We're going to give you more information as soon as we learn more here on Fox 17 News this morning. The Nashville Predators need to be on their toes tonight as they will be facing the Vancouver Canucks in Game 6 of the Western Conference very first round. Now, the Preds need to win if they want to extend their season. It's win or go home. They're coming back to Bridgestone Arena for tonight's game. The Preds lost games 3 and 4 of this series at home, despite leading 3-1 in the third period of the last game they played there. The Preds won Game 5 on the road in Vancouver, forcing tonight's Game 6. The puck will drop coming up at around 6 p.m. tonight. If you don't have tickets to tonight's game, you can catch all the action at the free party in the park just across the street from the Walk of Fame Park. That party starts at 4 o'clock.
4:02 our time, waking up with rain already on the radar. This is going to be a consistent morning of some steady rainfall and a few rumbles of some thunder, at least for the next 3 or 4 hours, and then things will get a little bit better toward the afternoon. Taking a look, you can see the grains giving us just that light, consistent and very steady, but easy to handle kind of rain so far this morning, but it's overspreading the entire Nashville area. We're talking every road into and out of Nashville right now when it comes to our main highways. We're seeing the rain that is coming down. Now, there are a few areas, as we stop the motion here, where we do have some heavier downpours. Now, no thunder or lightning with this cell right here, just tracking out of Springfield and in toward the Portland area and then Franklin, Kentucky within the next 15-20 minutes. You've already got light rain, but it will get a little bit heavier for about 10 to 15 minutes when this does move in. Taking a look down to the south and the west, here's where we're seeing some thunder. Yeah, just starting to track into Middle Tennessee. Lawrenceburg, some decent downpours right now, but the thunder and the lightning will follow that in roughly 15 minutes. We'll keep our eyes on the radar for you. The big 3 things in the weather story is just tracking the showers and storms that pop up. Looking at an active weekend that won't be as warm as the last 2 days, but definitely seeing temperatures that will climb into the 80s every day for the next 7. We're at 69 right now. The overcast sky has kept us decently warm, so don't worry about it being too cold outside at any point. 82 degrees this afternoon, 82 tomorrow. 85 on Sunday. We'll look at future track and plan your weekend coming up in a few.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24. This is at the Hickory Hollow Parkway exit out there in Antioch. We're doing just fine out there this morning as you get started. No big problems in either direction. If anything changes, and I mean anything, we got you covered with steer clear traffic as we're live and local with you through 9. And with the rain falling, I imagine a few things will be happening at some point today. Operation Crime and Justice, an Army lieutenant colonel stationed at Fort Campbell is being accused of, listen to this now, bringing guns from Russia, China, and other countries. A grand jury has now indicted 40-year-old Frank Ross Talbert on 21 charges. He has pled not guilty in federal court just yesterday. State Representative Justin Jones will be appearing on a ballot for the August election. The Davidson County Election Commission made that decision last night after a meeting that lasted for hours. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live this morning to tell us exactly how this challenge was able to fare there and how the commission voted.
Good morning. They voted 3-1 to allow Democratic Representative Justin Jones to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. He is most known for protesting from the House floor with an unpopular agenda among the House GOP majority, most notably his views on gun reform, which led to his expulsion. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition to run again. Initially, it was 11 signatures and then changed it to 3 during their presentation. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Laura first accused Jones of not submitting his initial evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or were misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits, he says, with physical proof that the people identified did in fact sign in support of Jones.
I'm going to bring each person who they challenged on this petition, because that was submitted as evidence, and have them come explain how they signed this petition. Because I don't have my spouse or a family member to testify on my behalf. We have the people of District 52 who signed this petition.
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name and printed her name incorrectly.
Again, Jones will be on the August ballot. Reporting live from the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much for coming up. As pro-Palestinian demonstrators spread across several universities and campuses out there, the University of Tennessee students were arrested last night. We're going to share that video with you and tell you what police have to say. Also, severe weather in the southwest. This is as a possible tornado.
Student discipline and TCAP scores.
How did we get here? And what's being done to fix these issues? Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
.09 is the time, and new this morning, a pro-Palestinian demonstration at the University of Tennessee ended last night with police arresting 7 students and 2 others. This is after we were told they were refusing to leave. Now, the peaceful protests have been on the law school lawn since Wednesday morning. The University Police Department said that they gave protesters until 9 p.m. to leave the space or face consequences, including arrest or suspension from the university. We'll continue to follow this as we learn more. Well, this demonstration happened, and they've been happening across the country, as some of them have flared up into violence in certain locations. That includes at the campus of UCLA. 200 people were arrested yesterday as police dismantled a fortified encampment there. We showed you some of these live pictures that were happening yesterday morning as Fox 17 News brought to you the moments where the officers were breaking down some of those barriers and also arresting people who have formed a human chain outside of some of the administration buildings. They used flashbangs to do it. Well, in the last 2 weeks, more than 2,000 people have been arrested at pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses across the country. Well, the days of heavy rain has certainly left many areas in Texas dealing with floods and even tornadoes. This is video of the potential tornado that was spotted over in central Texas just yesterday. Take a closer look at some of the damage out there. Floods swamping the town just northeast of Houston yesterday. The flooding has spurred mandatory evacuations for people along the San Jacinto River there in Houston. Officials are warning that the river is expected to reach its highest levels since Hurricane Harvey back in 2017.
What we need folks to do here is, you've got 2 options. Either we need you to plan to stay in place for 2 to 3 days, or if you can't do that, we need you to leave.
Well, the severe weather is expected to continue on for several days, we understand.
Coming up, taking a look at the radar right now, we have rain coming down and a few rumbles of thunder already. This is the beginning of a very active weekend. We'll plan on your COVID forecast.
Plus, clear traffic takes us out to I-24 near Hickory Hollow Parkway. Traffic there moving along fine. We're going to check in near the airport coming up in a few. And speaking of transportation, Tanya Tucker made a splash opening at the...
There are always fireworks on Fridays and autograph sessions and kids round the bases on Sundays. Tickets start at just $10 for every home game and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. See you in Hit City.
4:14 is the time. Live look there over downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The rain is falling in several locations out there across the mid-state. Greg Bobus will be along with the latest look at that forecast coming up here in the next few minutes as we prepare for a weekend full of activities yet again here in Music City. The State Department now says that it is time for Hamas to accept Israel's ceasefire offer. Now, under the proposal, Hamas would free 33 of the hostages it is still holding in exchange for a 6-week break in the war. Israel at first demanded the release of 40 hostages. The agreement also calls for many Palestinian prisoners to be freed as well. So far, Hamas has refused to accept the deal without certain changes being made, but negotiations are still ongoing.
Every day that goes by without a ceasefire right now is on Hamas, because they're the ones that are holding up an answer to this proposal, and they're the ones that are holding up reaching an immediate ceasefire that would help alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian people in Gaza.
Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that while he supports the latest ceasefire proposal, he's still vowing to carry out a major ground offensive in the city of Rafah with or without this deal. Hamas said that if Israel goes on with the attack on Rafah, it will bring an end to any negotiations they are having. In Operation Crime and Justice, Murfreesboro police are now warning the public that online and phone scammers stole thousands of dollars from elderly people in that area. Now, one is a 75-year-old man who was targeted by those scammers pretending to be a computer company who tricked him into sending over $130,000. Plus, a 73-year-old man browsing on eBay clicked a fake advertisement and lost $32,000. Now, some tips to avoid these kinds of scammers out there is that if anyone claims that you owe them money, whether or not they claim to be with the government or with a company, you can just hang up. Look up the real number for the government agency or the company on their official website and call them then. Then if you can call, you can request whatever dealings are asking for to try to figure out if the scam is real or not, or whether the bill is real or not. Well, check this out. This is a live look there in downtown Nashville. This is where country music legend Tanya Tucker made a grand entrance to the opening of her brand new tequila cantina. This happened yesterday, and take a look. If you're not watching, you need to be. That is Tanya Tucker riding a horse down Broadway, something that really only Metro Police do nowadays. That horse drew lots of attention, as Tanya Tucker did as well. People lined the street to watch her ride in. Then she gave a performance to a lot of her fans there. Some people traveled from hundreds of miles away for this grand opening. That includes Joe and Ella. We met them out there among the crowd. They are a father and daughter who came from Atlanta just to see their favorite artist.
When my dad was growing up, Tanya was his favorite singer, and so I've grown up because he's my dad, like listening to her my whole life, and this has been something we've done together. Like, we've gone to Winona, Reba, but Tanya, we've gone like literally all over the South to see her.
Well, Tanya Tucker's new pop-up bar is located on the second floor of the Nudies Honky Tonk that is there on Lower Broadway. It is graduation season, so congratulations to all the students out there who are graduating from mid-state universities. Tennessee Tech and Cookeville will start their commencement at 9 a.m. this morning. Austin Peay State University is holding ceremonies all throughout the day. Tennessee State University and Belmont University are starting their ceremonies today as well, and they will continue into tomorrow. Lipscomb University's graduation begins coming up tomorrow morning. So, question is, Greg, if they're sitting outside,
Yeah.
What are they dealing with out there this morning?
Well, right now they're dealing with some rain pretty much everywhere. About 2/3 of us seeing some rain coming down right now. If we're sitting in the stands when it comes to outdoor graduation ceremonies, we're dodging rain today, tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
And it's not going to rain the entire time, but that's the worst thing, is to not be prepared for it.
Yeah.
And then have to change plans, which could potentially be in the cards depending upon what any kind of rain scenario each university and college has going for them when it comes to graduation. Looking at the radar right now, we're fairly overspread with rainfall. So if you're not getting the rain now, you're lucky. Take this little window of opportunity, get outside, let the dog out, the whole 9 yards while you can. Showers, though, coming down fairly consistently in the Nashville area. We'll zoom in here a little bit closer to the metro. You can see what I mean. Everywhere, east, north, west, and south of the city, we're all seeing the rain. Actually, a little more of our decent rainfall, these little yellow patches here, the Antioch area, Brentwood, up through Oak Hill toward Berry Hill. Now, this is no thunder, no lightning, but this is the area here closest to Nashville that has the heaviest rainfall. Move away from downtown, you can see Centerville just starting. It's going to be about a good 15 minutes to a half hour worth of some heavier rainfall. We'll be more toward the south of that, and you can see a few rumbles of some thunder about 5 to 10 minutes out from the Lawrenceburg area, continuing to the north and east. They're all pulling from the bottom left-hand side of your screen to the top right-hand side of your screen throughout this morning. What does this mean going into the rest of the weekend? Well, pop-up showers and storms are going to be there this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. We'll do it all again for Saturday and for Sunday. We'll start talking about that weekend planning because there are a ton of things happening here in the next 48 hours.
Steer clear traffic takes us over to the very latest happening there on I-40 at Donaldson Pike. This is very close to the airport. You can see it there for yourself. Traffic moving along really nicely despite the fact that the rain is falling and streets out there are very, very wet. So we do expect to see some accidents creep up. We believe we've seen reports of a crash there on Bradley Parkway, very close to White Street Pike. Haven't seen anything on our cameras. We've seen emergency crews go out there, but can't find the accident exactly. But just watch out for anything that could creep up over the next little bit. Oh, a sound from my childhood that I didn't want to hear again. This month, a lot of Middle Tennesseans will see the return of the cicadas. The insects will make plenty of noise while trying to find a mate, but they won't be around for long. Well, it depends on how you define long. So here's a look at the different cicada varieties that we've got right here in Middle Tennessee. The counties that are highlighted in green, like the ones you see here in Metro Nashville, Rutherford County, down in Williamson County, they are going to have brood 19. They will be emerging a little bit later this month. Counties highlighted here in the yellow, like to the north of town there, this is going to be Robertson County here, Cheatham County. Those are the counties that are going to see another different type of brood, we understand. They're going to be out there a little bit later this morning as well. Brood 13 is also emerging this year, but we don't have any of those here in Tennessee. Those cicadas instead are hatching up in the Midwest. Now, we were curious. Have you seen any cicadas where you live? Well, so far, none of you have. Around 70% say no, you haven't. 30% say yes. We've seen some of those pictures from the 30% who are saying yes. If you want to share any pictures with us, you can do so on our Fox 17 website, fox17.com. Just go to chime in, and right there you can share your pictures. If you want to participate in our poll, you can do so by scanning the QR code right there on the screen. You can also just join us the good old-fashioned way at twitter.com or X, and you can find us at Fox Nashville. Well, coming up, some Middle Tennessee companies plan to lay off a total of nearly 2,000 workers. We're going to tell you more about that in a few minutes. Plus, it's a historic day for the Kentucky.
Get photos of your property damage and get medical attention if you're hurt. But don't post your story on social media. Let us do the talking for you. Call us at 615-242-9000.
Coming up on 425 in business news, layoffs are hitting two mid-state companies. The National Aerospace Solutions, LLC in Tullahoma, is preparing to lay off around 1,700 workers. The company is located at the Arnold Air Force Base. Does say that many of the workers could be offered a position to keep working at the base, according to the information that we have. And a Nashville company, Sodexo Live, is expected to lay off around 92 employees as well. A historic day in the history of the Kentucky Derby. It will be the 150th running of the Derby there at Churchill Downs in Louisville, and they already are preparing for the big main event. Now, the top contenders in this year's field include, and the horse names are always kind of funny, Sierra Leone, as well as West Saratoga, and Fierceness as well will be some of the names of the horses that are taking the run. Part of what makes the Derby unique is horses have just one chance to run. Since it's only 3-year-olds who can compete, it is the first jewel of what is known as the Triple Crown, alongside the Preakness Stakes and the Belmont Stakes. They are both happening coming up here a little bit later. Post time for the Kentucky Derby set for 5:57 Central Time.
And taking a look at that forecast, maybe that is part of your weekend plan. What does it mean if you're heading up there? I mean, we have some showers and storms here back home. Well, if you are heading to the Derby, and again, post time is 5:57 Central Time, so make sure you always know time zones when it comes to Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And then the forecast for day of is going to be hit and miss with showers and storms. Can't guarantee you a dry hour. Also can't tell you that it's going to rain the entire day because it won't. More dry hours than rainy ones, but storms possible throughout the day. 72 at noon, 78 degrees at 3 p.m., and then at 6 o'clock, right around post time, it'll be right near the 80-degree mark. So it's really going to be one of those mornings and afternoons that will be on the warmer side, but definitely a few showers and thunderstorms. And if you don't like the heat, maybe you like the ice. Preds, game 6 tonight. We have puck drop right around 6 p.m. 82 degrees will be our forecast high this afternoon. We have rain on the radar right now. There'll be a few more isolated showers and storms heading toward the afternoon and the evening. We'll track those and keep tracking what is on the radar right now as we go into our 4:30 half hour in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's get you out and about to the very latest happening on I-65 Trinity Lane. That's just north of downtown. You can see their traffic moving along really nicely, despite the fact that the rain has fallen here across Middle Tennessee. No big problems so far this morning. That can soon change very quickly. Of course, we've got you with the very latest with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9. Well, coming up, Morgan Wallen. Well, he threw a chair off of a rooftop bar, allegedly, just a few weeks ago, but he will not be going to court, at least not today. We're going to tell you where the singer will be instead.
Democratic Representative
of The Lion King comes the show audiences and critics are melting for. Coming soon to Tennessee Performing Arts Center this May. Get your tickets today at tpac.org.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, 2 young people have been arrested in a shooting that took place in Hopkinsville last month. We're going to tell you about the man that police are still looking for. Plus, Representative Justin Jones will get to keep his name on the ballot. We're going to tell you why a challenge to remove his name failed last night.
Our forecast waking up here with steady rainfall happening right now, and then the chance for storms ramps up going into the weekend. We'll track it in your forecast.
All right, Greg, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. I'm Justin McFarland. We do begin with Operation Crime and Justice. This is over in Hopkinsville. Police say 2 juveniles are under arrest for a shooting that took place near the Christian County Health Department. This happened last month. 3 juveniles and 1 adult were hurt in that shooting that happened back on April the 14th. Police are now searching for another man in this case. If you know Darren Russell, you are asked to call the Hopkinsville Police Department. We've got that number right there at the bottom of your screen. Country music star Morgan Wallen will be taking the stage, not the stand, at Nissan Stadium coming up again tonight. He will not be in the courtroom to face several charges. Now, Wallen is facing a slew of those charges after police are accusing him of throwing a chair from the top of the Chiefs bar last month. You can see that chair circled right there on your screen. That chair landed about 3 feet away from a couple of Metro police officers who were standing down below. Morgan Wallen's attorney says his appearance was waived because it was, quote, not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, an estimated 50,000 people are expected to show up at Nissan Stadium tonight for night 2 of his concert tour. State Representative Justin Jones will be appearing on a ballot for the August election in Metro Nashville. The Davidson County Election Commission made the decision last night after a 3-hour hearing. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is live with more on exactly the challenges that Jones faced.
Good morning. It was a heated meeting, and it comes as no surprise as Democratic Representative Justin Jones is known for his heated exchanges on the House floor here behind me at the Capitol for his unpopular agenda among the House GOP majority. The Davidson County Election Commission ultimately voting 3-1 to allow Jones to run again. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition to run. Initially, it was 11 signatures and then changed it to 3 during their presentation. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Laura first accused Jones of not submitting his initial evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or were misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits, he said, with physical proof that the people identified did in fact sign in support of Jones. The Election Commission told Fox 17 News Jones submitted 26 signatures when typically people send a lot more, so we asked him why.
So we submitted earlier. You want to make us to do extra. The law says 25 certified signatures. We were certified. So the question to you is, why do you want us to do extra work when we were certified before the deadline?
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name, and printed her name incorrectly.
The next step for the Davidson County Election Commission is now to set the August ballot. Reporting live in front of the state capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:34, checking on your forecast here. You see Karen has the umbrella out there. That's going to be the case here for a good portion of this morning. It's not going to necessarily rain every hour of it, but we're socked into it right now, especially in the Nashville area down toward the south. With a few areas of little pockets of dry air, but most of us will continue with the on and off rain. Prepare for it, have the umbrella, maybe leave a little bit early, and just know that we're going to take it a little bit slower here to kick off this Friday morning. We have rain I-65 all the way from the Alabama state line straight through Nashville up toward Kentucky. So we're working through the entire state right now when it comes to north and south along 65. This is just light to moderate rain. I've got our lightning indicator turned on and no indications of any lightning in the Nashville area. We get down toward Lawrenceburg any moment here. Rain going to pick up very heavily, and there's the latest radar update. You can see it, still some lightning flashes here. These aren't severe storms or even close to it, but a few, again, pockets of some heavier rainfall with some thunder and lightning to start off the day. Downtown it is 69 degrees and fairly overcast. So what does this mean for the rest of today? Here's future track. We'll take right now, we'll move it through about 6 o'clock, 7 a.m. Still seeing some decent showers here. There are going to be pockets of this rainfall where steadier and lighter for most of us, but there will be 1 or 2 downpours in toward the afternoon. Late morning gives us a little break, and then we fire right back into a few more isolated showers and weak storms all the way through 5 p.m.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get a look at what we're facing on I-65 at Trinity Lane. That's on the north side of town. Traffic out there doing very nicely, despite the fact that we do have some rain falling, as Greg was just mentioning, across several parts of the mid-state here. So far, that rain has not caused big issues, at least not yet. We will continue to follow anything happening in your traffic world and bring you the latest updates with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. Well, tonight, a love scheme that is breaking some bank accounts. Romance cons in the United States are raking in billions of dollars, and those behind the keyboard know what they're doing. The long game to gain your trust, to using AI to create fictional people. Once your money is gone, it's almost impossible to get back.
My whole thing is don't become a victim. I personally have dealt with 6 victims here right in our area who were victimized in this scam.
Coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, the red flags that you just can't ignore. Well, coming up, a high-profile trial that could change the fate of Google. We're going to tell you what the consequences could be. Plus, a big payout from insurance, but it won't be big enough to repair.
We'll be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
4:39 is the time. Live look there from Bridgestone Arena, home of your Nashville Predators. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey out there as we get ready for playoff hockey. See the banner up above. Game 6 coming up tonight. It's do or die, win or go home for the Preds. We'll see if they can get it done and force a Game 7. And we've got the very latest on what the outlook is for this game coming up here in the next few minutes. Let's go Preds. A year-long case as the United States versus Google is nearing its conclusion and could set the standard for reining in tech giants. Now, lawyers for the Justice Department and Google started delivering their closing arguments just yesterday. The government argues that Google broke federal antitrust laws to keep itself as the dominant search engine on the internet. Google says that it's just really good. They didn't have to break any laws to be as good as they are. The judge ruling on this particular case could break up whether or not Google was involved in any wrongdoing. We'll see. Well, the state of Maryland is set to receive $350 million worth of insurance payment for the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, the payment would come from the Chubb Insurance Company and represents the maximum limit of the policy that the bridge had. Now, that's according to a report from the Washington Post. The payment will only cover a fraction of the billions of dollars of damages and cleanup costs that the bridge collapse caused. So far, 3,000 tons of wreckage and debris have been removed from the site. An estimated 50,000 tons still need to be removed. And by the way, we've been talking dollars and cents here, but let's not forget 6 construction workers, six people died when this bridge collapsed after it was hit by a cargo ship. This happened late in the month of March. Let's get to Greg. He's got a look at a rainy forecast for some folks.
Yes, as far as getting up, getting out the door, and just getting the process going here on your Friday, what to wear, everything that has rain gear attached to it, or you can attach to yourself. We're talking raincoats, rain boots, and umbrellas going to be good for us here. I would not make this one of those days where the outfit in terms of externally is for fashion. This is for comfort and to get the rain away from you. Out the door, we are seeing some steady rainfall right now in the Nashville area. That's going to continue on and off throughout this morning. We'll get a little break late morning, early afternoon. Then we'll bring back more showers and weak thunderstorms throughout the late stages of today. 5 a.m., 67 degrees, and we're going to hover right near that number all the way through 7 o'clock. There are a few rumbles of thunder out in the Lawrenceburg area, so think southern Middle Tennessee, but right now, no thunder or lightning near the Nashville area just yet. We'll keep our eyes on it. As far as flights go, well, taking a look at BNA, 68 degrees, 76 will be our temperature at noon, 79 at 3 p.m. with hit and miss showers and storms. Right now, not a big impact when it comes to the big board. Only 3 delays into and out of Nashville International at this time.
Steer clear traffic for you takes us out to I-24 at Harding Place. That is where we can find the traffic moving along really nicely out there. No big problems in either direction. We're looking good. If there is anything that pops up, we'll be sure to let you know. But right this second, right now, we're doing just fine as you get out the door this morning. Well, coming up, one Mid-State company has innovative solutions to help first responders deal with disasters. We'll tell you about that. And a very funny bonding moment for the former Titans player and his
company vehicle. You need to know this. They are not waiting to investigate. Don't let them tell your story. I can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
In your community this morning, a Mid-State company is working with a nonprofit to help empower first responders. Around 200 people from Schneider Electric got together in Franklin to help build a mobile microgrid. This allows first responders to set up shop anywhere that this nonprofit footprint project sends these trailers. It goes around to cities around the country hard hit by disasters.
All that needs to be powered. And oftentimes, most of those sites are using fossil fuel generators, and our mission is to help deploy cleaner energy infrastructure into those situations.
Now, since it started back in 2018, the Footprint Project has sent teams on 25 disaster and recovery missions, including the Mississippi tornadoes that happened last March. Well, listen up. If you bought some ground beef over at Walmart recently, make sure to check your refrigerator. Check that label there. Check your freezer. Over 16,000 pounds of the ground beef at Walmart has now been recalled because it could be contaminated with E. coli. Now, the recall affects patties and trays of the ground beef, the ground chuck, and ground sirloin. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says you should throw the meat away or return it to the store where you picked it up. A bipartisan group of lawmakers are calling on the government to limit the use of facial recognition technology in airport screenings. Now, in a letter to Senate leadership yesterday, 14 senators urged the chamber to put restrictions in place when it is time to reauthorize the Federal Aviation Administration. They claim the technology threatens the privacy and civil liberties of passengers. The TSA has been rolling out the technology at airports. The agency says it improves the accuracy of identity verification at checkpoints. Screening passengers, screening passengers can opt out if they do not want this technology to be used on them. Well, here's a moment that got a lot of attention on social media after it happened. We're talking about Nashville Predators fans who witnessed a father-daughter bonding moment that you really don't get to see all the time. So let's take a look at what happened. The former Titans offensive lineman Taylor Lewan, of course, he's known for chugging beer at Nashville Predators games. He's even chugged them through a catfish one time. Well, his daughter took up the challenge. It wasn't beer. Calm down. It wasn't beer. It was water. But she chugged a whole cup of water next to Dad in about 10 seconds and got a standing ovation with some of the faithful there at Bridgestone Arena. Of course, we don't know if Taylor Lewan and company has Taylor poured beer all over himself, you know, being typical Taylor Lewan. It's unknown if Taylor Lewan or his daughter will be there for Game 6 coming up tonight.
I got a feeling if they are there, we might be seeing a little more Jumbotron recordings there going on again.
Maybe. You never know. Never know, indeed.
Thankfully, the game's inside. I mean, it has to be, obviously, with it on the ice. But, I mean, forecast for us here, not looking all that great. So say you're going to go to one of the watch parties that are out there, or you're just going to be downtown in general. Know that you could be working into a few showers and storms this evening. We've already got rain on the radar right now. The green just showing regular, steady, but decent rainfall. There are some areas, though, down. We talk Dickson down through Centerville, Columbia, and Lawrenceburg, where we're seeing a little heavier rain and even have had some indications of some thunder and some lightning in those areas. No thunder, no lightning, but Nashville down through Berry Hill, Brentwood, all the way down through Franklin, pushing out toward Bellevue, Antioch, Laverne, even Murfreesboro. We're all seeing rain here to kick off this Friday morning, very early here at 4:48. Taking a look, Pulaski, you're going to see things pick up a little bit here in about 15 minutes. You're starting to see the first little raindrops. That's going to get a little bit heavier. Lawrenceburg, give it 10 more minutes. That thunderstorm right on top of you. It is not a severe storm, but definitely some thunder, some lightning. If you're waking up and you're just tuning in, don't worry about anything severe. And this is not going to be one of those days where it storms all day, but the potential for showers and storms will remain on the radar for us. The weather story, we're tracking showers throughout the morning, making sure you know where they're at and how it could impact the beginning of your day. Active weekend that will not be as warm. No more upper 80s. Now, what I mean by it's a fairly steady but lighter rainfall in the Nashville area. Cameras aren't getting jostled around. We don't have a lot of wind, but that rainfall will continue to create some little ponding in some areas and also some puddles. What does it mean for school? First bell, 68 degrees. After school, right near 80 degrees. So we're still going to be warm, just not those mid to upper 80s that we've been accustomed to the past couple of days. We'll take 82 today, 82 tomorrow, 85 degrees on Sunday and Monday. Isolated showers and storms for your weekend. We'll plan that. We've got the Preds at home tonight. We have Nashville SC tomorrow, more Morgan Wallen concerts. We're going to give you all the updates to all those specific timelines.
Steer clear traffic at 450 this morning. Let's take a quick look at I-65 at Dickerson Pike. This is on the north side of downtown. As you can see there, traffic moving along really nicely. Everything is okay so far out there this morning. No big crashes in either direction. If anything does change, we'll be sure to let you know. We've got you covered with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9. Country singer Randy Travis is releasing his first studio recording in more than a decade. Now, the I Told You So singer has new music coming out today called Where That Came From. Now, the Grammy winner was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame back in 2016 after releasing 21 albums. In 2021, he received CMT's Artist of a Lifetime Award. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to clamp down on tax cheating among the very wealthy. Now, the agency says it will increase audits on people who earn more than $10 million by nearly 5% by the year 2026. As for business, the IRS will triple audit rates for those with assets over $250 million. It will also audit 10 times as many business partnerships with assets over $10 million. Now, this move comes as the audit rates have fallen over the years because of IRS staffing issues. As for everyday taxpayers, there's no need to worry, according to the agency. The IRS commissioner says that the audit rates on households earning less than $400,000 will not increase from their record low from where they were in 2018. Well, coming up, after severe weather knocked over thousands of trees, Fall Creek Falls has a plan to recover. We'll tell you how. Plus, the First Lady hosted the best teachers from across.
Allegra, they won't stop me. Nothing beats Allegra. It's the fastest, non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief. Live your greatness.
4:54 is the time. Live look there on Lower Broadway as this place is going to be rocking tonight. Of course, it's Friday night in Nashville, so we don't need a reason to rock. You know, we just do that on a normal basis. But the Nashville Predators, of course, have got Game 6 over there at Bridgestone Arena. So the guys in gold and the fans in gold will be out in plenty tonight, along with the tourists who are coming here to Nashville. Looks like they're picking up the dumpsters. Get the dumpsters out of the way so more people can come on in. We'll continue to watch things downtown and across the Mid-State. Well, the Fall Creek Falls State Park is a place where thousands of trees were toppled by severe weather just last year. The park is now planning to restore the very scenic loop out there. Now, that means they're removing many of the downed trees. The process of restoring that forest might require some road closures, they're warning. The park wants the community input about the project, and they will have an open house that will be held on May the 9th at the park's lodge out there from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. And Greg, as we get over to our weather, Greg, I have to admit, I've never been to Fall Creek Falls.
I can't say I have either, but I mean, just seeing what we had on the screen right there, you've convinced me. I mean,
looks very nice.
It really does. What doesn't look very nice is everything out your window in most spots. Unfortunately, we've got showers and storms that are out there, and there are a lot of things that are happening around town. We've got a Nashville Sounds game tonight, supposed to have fireworks with that. We have the chance for a few showers and storms. Now, every little indication that I'm seeing is lowering the chance of storms during game time itself, but it's still there. I can't guarantee you that we go through it without having lightning close enough to First Horizon Park to where they have to take any precautions. So just keep it in mind. Plan for the possibility of rain. 77 at 6, 72 at 8 o'clock, and 67 degrees at 10 p.m. However, if you're going to be indoors and you happen to score some tickets to the Preds, everything obviously inside will be great, but getting there could be a little bit of a nuisance here. This afternoon, 82 with a few more isolated afternoon storms. The most likely dry period for the majority of us is going to be late morning into early afternoon of today. Then we have Nashville SC tomorrow, 7:30 on the pitch, 78 degrees at 7 o'clock. And 7:30 is again when the game will start. 75 degrees at 8 o'clock and then 73 at 9 p.m. And we're going to keep seeing these little lightning bolts popping up here throughout the weekend. We do have more showers and storms, not just Saturday, but also Sunday into Monday. And we'll take a look at your radar right now to get you out the door in the next check of your forecast as we go into our 5 o'clock half hour in about 3 minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you at 457. Quick look here at I-24. This is at Haywood Lane over in the Antioch area. You can see there for yourself traffic moving along very nicely despite the fact that the rain is falling. So heads up out there in that area as far as just dealing with the rain. The rain will be around with us even after it stops falling from the sky because, of course, it sits out there on the road and causes some visibility issues. So right now we're doing good. We're going to continue to watch things for you, let you know what we find with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. More than 50 of the best teachers in America gathering in D.C. yesterday at the White House for a state dinner, and that includes the National Teacher of the Year, who is from the state of Tennessee. Take a look, everyone. This is an event typically reserved for heads of states and leaders of foreign countries. But First Lady Dr. Jill Biden decided to open the doors for this year's National and State Teachers of the Year. Now, this year's National Teacher of the Year is Misty Testerman. She is an English teacher. English as a second language teacher, to be exact, from Tennessee. In her message, Dr. Biden applauded the educators for their commitment to the next generation.
Never stop ringing that bell. Never forget that student by student, the lives you change go on to change the world.
Dr. Biden is a teacher herself and teaches English and writing over at Northern Virginia Community College. Most of us enjoy being able to sleep in, that is for sure. However, when it comes to other things like this, you probably won't have to, however, you probably wouldn't like the extra shut-eye if it was the result of not hearing your alarm. I know I've been there a lot. Some iPhone users have now turned to social media with that very complaint. They say they have overslept because they are not hearing the alarm on their phone. Now, Apple has told media companies like NBC News that the company is working to fix the issue. However, it's unknown exactly how many iPhone users will be affected by this. I know my iPhone woke me up this morning. Maybe the ringer isn't up loud enough. Maybe you should try changing your ringer. You know, if you have the same ringer every day, it's not going to wake you up out of your sleep. You got to change it up every now and again because that different sound could do a bunch to wake you up. Just an idea from somebody who has to get up very, very early. If you're watching me right now, our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
5 o'clock on the dot right now. The weekend is upon us, and tonight is going to be a big one in Nashville. The Preds play at home in Game 6 of the playoffs. We got Morgan Wallen with Night 2 in concert tonight, plus so much more that we will detail for you live through 9 a.m.
Democratic Representative Justin Jones is allowed to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. Coming up, I'll tell you why a challenge against him failed last night.
Temperatures a little bit cooler today than they were yesterday, but the rain has moved in and it's not going anywhere for the next 4 days. There will be showers on the radar. We'll track it in your forecast.
All right, we know you will, Greg. Thank you so much for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica's off today. We start right now with breaking news out of Davidson County this morning. We are just getting word from Metro Nashville Dispatch confirming that one person has been hit by a car this morning on I-40. They're telling us that it happened right at the exit for Donaldson Pike near the Nashville International Airport. Crews responding to the scene just after 1:45 this morning. We're told that person has been taken to the hospital. We are still working to find out whether the driver involved is facing any charges. We're working with law enforcement. We'll continue to update you on this breaking news story just as soon as we learn more. And kicking off your Friday morning, here are some of the top few stories you'll want to know about to start your day. Mr. Donald Trump's hush money trial wrapping up its second week of testimony from key witnesses. Prosecutors have used this week so far to lay out details from meetings, email exchanges, business transactions, bank accounts. Michael Cohen, the prosecution's star witness, has yet to take the stand. The U.S. had a bit of a slower month of job growth over the last 30 days or so, according to data firm FactSet. The government is expected to report that the U.S. added about 233,000 jobs in April, but that would be down from the 303,000 we added in March. And updating you this morning, the latest from the protests at college campuses around the country on the part of anti-Israel, pro-Palestine demonstrators. More than 2,200 people have been arrested so far. And look at the trash that is left behind, the damage done to these college and university campuses. According to a tally over the last few weeks from the Associated Press, again, that number of arrests is at 2,200. The Associated Press also found that there have been at least 56 rounds of arrests at 43 different colleges or universities going back to mid-April. New this morning here in the Mid-State, State Representative Democrat Justin Jones will be able to show up on the ballot for the August election. The Davidson County Election Commission making that decision last night after a nearly 3-hour-long hearing. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live now with more on the challenge that Justin Jones had been facing.
Good morning, Jen. The Davidson County Election Commission voted 3-1 to allow Representative Justin Jones to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. He is known for protesting on the House floor with an unpopular agenda among the House GOP majority, most notably his views on gun reform, which led to his expulsion. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition to run again. Initially, it was 11 signatures and then changed it to 3 during their presentation. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Nelson first accused Jones of not submitting his initial evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or were misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits, he says, with physical proof that the people identified did in fact sign in support of Jones.
I'm going to bring each person who they challenged on this petition, because that was submitted as evidence, and have them come explain how they signed this petition, because I don't have my spouse or a family member to testify on my behalf. We have the people of District 52 who signed this petition.
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name and printed her name incorrectly.
Again, after the heated meeting, Representative Jones will appear on the August ballot. The next step is for the Election Commission to set that ballot. Reporting live in front of the state capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:05, wake up to some showers here. Depending upon where you're at, the rain a little bit heavier in some spots than others. Nashville area, we've had no indications of any thunder or lightning here in the last couple hours, but definitely some steadier rainfall. We're already seeing some areas. We've got some puddles and some ponding, and that's going to be the case this morning. And yeah, once the rain is done, just because the rain turns off for a little bit doesn't mean there won't still be a residual after effect. Trying to get moving around to start today. Nashville, north and south on 65, east and west on 40. We're seeing the rain everywhere. It is steady. It's not heavy. The one area we've had a little bit of thunder and lightning well down to the south, closer to the Alabama state line. Tracking out of Lawrenceburg, finally, you have had some thunder that may have woken you up here. Don't worry, we're not going to have any severe weather, and any thunder you hear is not going to be anything we can't handle, just might wake you up or catch you off guard. Again, non-consequential thunderstorms. Taking a look, Pulaski, here you have some light rainfall. It's going to get a little bit heavier, and then Lewisburg eventually, about 20 minutes from now, you'll go from the lighter rain that's just starting to some more decent rainfall. It only lasts about 15-20 minutes as it does move in, and this is a new shower here in the last half hour, pulling away from Tullahoma, entering Manchester as we speak. Next check of your forecast, we'll look at future track for the rest of the upcoming weekend.
Thank you so much, Greg. Steer clear traffic right now. We've got a crash we need to bring your attention to. This is north of downtown Nashville. This is up near White House on I-65. TDOT reporting right now that the crash is in the inbound lanes. So this is I-65 coming into Nashville from White House. It does look like we've got a left lane blocked. We can see the flashing lights here, and we can also see a warning on the TDOT overhead signs. So it has been raining up there. I was just checking a couple of other cameras on I-65 in this part of town. It's wet, so be careful, and we'll check this. Let you know if you need a detour. Right now, I don't think you do, but as the morning goes on, you might. So we'll keep an eye on this for you and check in just a few minutes. I mentioned at the top of the hour, the Preds have a huge matchup in Nashville tonight, and it's win or they're done. They're out of the playoffs. So this is Game 6 against the Vancouver Canucks in the Western Conference first round. It's going to be a hot night in Nashville on the ice. The Preds do have to win if they want to extend their season. Coming back to Bridgestone, Nashville did win Game 5 on the road in Vancouver Tuesday, which is what forced tonight's Game 6. Puck drop at Bridgestone Arena, where we have a live look this morning, bottom right side of your screen. Looking good. We're all ready for the Preds, even though you can tell it's been raining down there. Hey, if you don't have tickets to the game, there are still tickets available. I was actually doing a search this morning, and they're about $100 each. Or you can catch all the action at a free party in the park just across the street at Walk of Fame. The party starts at 4 o'clock. As pro-Palestine demonstrations continue, several University of Tennessee students have now been arrested overnight. We'll take you there and get you the latest video of what went down, plus severe weather in the Southwest, including a possible tornado. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. New right now, we have a pro-Palestinian demonstration at the University of Tennessee that has ended overnight with police arresting 7 students and 2 others after they were told to leave and refused. The peaceful protest had been on the law school lawn since Wednesday morning. The university's police department did not waste any time. They went in there and gave the protesters a 9 p.m. deadline to leave the space or face the consequences, including arrest or suspension. Well, you can see here several of them did not, so they did get arrested. We'll follow this story as we learn more. And this as demonstrations across the country flare up, sometimes breaking into violence. Look at this mob-like scene from UCLA. This does not even look like something that we would see here in the United States. But more than 200 people did get arrested at UCLA when police finally moved in and dismantled a fortified encampment there. It's been set up for more than a week. We showed you some of the live images from Los Angeles just yesterday morning as officers finally broke through this encampment with human chains. They had flashbangs, and again, more than 200 arrests there alone. I mentioned just a few minutes ago, the tally right now nationwide is about 2,200 arrests. Switching gears this morning, we have some wicked weather impacting a lot of communities here in the U.S. this morning. Days of heavy rain have left a lot of areas of Texas dealing with floods, even possible tornadoes. Look at the video right here behind me. I mean, that pretty much tells the story in central Texas just yesterday. Floods, swamping areas just northeast of Houston. Look at the new video right now. This flooding has spurred mandatory evacuations for people along the San Jacinto River in Houston. Officials still warning that it could reach the highest levels since Hurricane Harvey in 2017.
Yeah, and that was one of the more unique hurricanes that just sat there for days. Back home now, we're seeing rain moving in for us. We're not worried about flooding, but scattered showers and storms take you into and out of the upcoming weekend. We're all clear for code red, but we'll track them for you coming up in a few minutes.
Not quite all clear in steer clear traffic. In fact, we've got a new crash north of Nashville, I-65 in White House. It's inbound. We'll get to the details and detours in minutes. Plus, Tanya Tucker.
Asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. We're glad to have you here with us. It's 5:15 right now. Live look into downtown Nashville. Things are a little rainy to kick off your Friday, and that's going to be the case off and on throughout the course of the day. We'll let you know how that could impact your outdoor plans. If you're going to the Morgan Wallen concert, it's night 2 tonight. We've got night 3 tomorrow. We'll let you know how that could be impacted. Plus, parents, if you have kids with outdoor sports activities, Greg will be all over it for you so you can know how to plan ahead. Right now, the State Department says now is the time for Hamas to accept Israel's ceasefire offer. Under this proposal, Hamas would free 33 of the hostages it's currently holding in exchange for a 6-week break in the war. Israel at first demanded the release of 40 hostages. This new agreement calls for many Palestinian prisoners to be freed as well. So far, Hamas has refused to accept the deal, but negotiations, we understand, continue.
Every day that goes by without a ceasefire right now is on Hamas, because they're the ones that are holding up an answer to this proposal, and they're the ones that are holding up reaching an immediate ceasefire that would help alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian people in Gaza.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said while he does support the latest ceasefire proposal, he's still vowing to carry out a major ground offensive in Rafah with or without a deal. Hamas said if Israel goes through with that attack on Rafah, it will bring an end to the negotiations. 5:17 right now, and in our communities, it is graduation season. So we want to say good morning and congratulations to all of our students who are graduating from our mid-state universities. We want to give you a quick rundown of what we've got going on. So Tennessee Tech over on the Plateau in Cookeville, they start their commencement ceremonies this morning at 9 o'clock. Austin Peay State University holding ceremonies all day today. Tennessee State University and Belmont University start their ceremonies today as well, and they will continue into tomorrow. We have Lipscomb University's graduation that starts tomorrow morning. So on top of all the events, the Morgan Wallen concert, the Preds playoffs, we've got concerts at the Ryman and the Skirmerhorn. We've got graduation ceremonies happening as well. Hey, get this, country music legend Tanya Tucker making a grand entrance in a way only she really knows how to do. This was to the grand opening of her new tequila cantina. It's the pop-up at Nudies. And she rode down Broadway again on a horse. This has just become her thing. People lined the street to watch it happen. Tanya Tucker then put on a performance. Some people traveled from states away to come here for this grand opening and to see her, including Joe and Ella, a father and daughter who came from Atlanta just to see their favorite artist.
When my dad was growing up, Tanya was his favorite singer, and so I've grown up because he's my dad, like listening to her my whole life, and this has been something we've done together. Like, we've gone to Winona, Reba, but Tanya, we've gone like literally all over the South to see her.
What a great, father-daughter bonding trip. How fun is that? Tanya Tucker's new pop-up tequila bar is on the second floor of Nudies Honky Tonk. Greg, I'm still trying to figure out, we hear this term pop-up everywhere nowadays. Pop-up this, how long is it going to last is what I want to know.
The very good question, because when you have a pop-up bar when it comes to maybe Halloween or Christmas, you kind of know when it's going to be done.
Yeah.
When the holiday hits. But a pop-up for a country icon.
In a bar with tequila, I don't know.
Maybe we just forget it ever popped up and just stays there forever.
Maybe, and she has her own tequila line, and so they're selling that, of course, at the bar. Hey, speaking of pop-up, Greg.
Yes.
Pop-up showers today.
I like where you're going with this. Now, we may not like having to drive through them, but they're here for us this morning. Warm front just right over us here. It's not quite going to cross the area, so what's going to happen is our temperatures will still make it to near 80, but we're kind of stuck. Taking a look here, nothing really moving anywhere around us in any quick fashion. So it will be days worth of rain that we get that will be on and off during this process. We're tracking a couple of showers and storms, not going to be as warm for the next 5 days as it was the last 2. We're not done with upper 80s. They're still on the 7-day, but the weekend itself closer to the 80-degree mark than 90. Active weekend. It's not raining every hour, not even close to it, but right now we do have some steady rainfall that is out there in the Nashville area, straight all the way down toward the Alabama state line. If you're taking 65 north into town from the south, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of that rainfall. We're decently warm though, up near 70 degrees. We're in the 60s across the board on the right side of your screen. We'll look at your 7-day forecast and future track in the next look at your forecast.
Steer clear traffic. We want to bring you to I-65. This is at Bethel Road, very close to White House, between White House and Millersville. We were following a crash up here a short time ago. It looks like that crash has since cleared. We've been watching the same camera here for the last little bit. No more problems up there. Looks like they made very quick work of that crash and got it to a place to where it's no longer causing an issue. So that is great news. You should make that drive down from White House, Portland, Orlando, Cross Plains, you name it. Let's take a look at the drive time. It was around 55 minutes, but we just saw there was a red line here. It has disappeared. This crash has cleared quickly.
Have you heard them yet? The cicadas are starting to emerge here in Middle Tennessee. In fact, I want to say thanks for all of you who have sent in your great shots of the little critters. And later, as we get into the rest of the month, we'll see even more of these things. The insects making plenty of noise while they're trying to find a mate, but they won't be around for long. We've got to look right now at the different varieties of cicadas that we have in Tennessee. You've probably heard us talk about the 2 different broods that are coming out at the same time. The counties that you see highlighted in yellow are the ones that have a different brood. The ones that are in green, which would include Nashville, Murfreesboro, you're going to see what's called brood 19, and that's what's emerging this month. And as I mentioned, what you see here in yellow, you'll see different varieties that are not technically emerging this year. Not that you could go out and identify one from the other, but what I noticed too here is we've got some counties that aren't highlighted at all, and you might not see many this year. We're curious, have you seen any where you live? I mentioned some of you have sent in some great shots. I saw one from the Goodlettsville area. This poll is live right now. We'd love to hear, 1, whether you've seen any, and 2, we'd love to see your pictures. Right now, 69% of you say no, you haven't seen any yet. We live north of Nashville, and we also have not seen any just yet. But the poll is live right now. If you scan that QR code right there, it'll take you straight to the poll. You can vote and then leave us a comment or a picture. Well, at 5:22 right now, people who are staying at hotels in Clarksville are going to be paying a little bit more. The Clarksville City Council voting to raise the tax to pay.
Arthritis to autism. Make an appointment today at the Kellum Stem Cell Institute. It might be the call that changes your life.
.25 is the time. 3 years ago, the city of Clarksville purchased this building right back here. It's the Roxy Theater, opened up in downtown Clarksville back in 1947. It was a movie house, but then in the 1980s, it began hosting live events like plays, concerts, stand-up comedy, things like that. Think TPAC for Clarksville. But it does need investment, and that's why the city is now adding a 2.75% tax on all hotel and motel rooms there in the city. Now, keep in mind, the city has never had a tax on hotel or motel rooms before. Some city council members were trying to figure out if there another way to deal with this.
We are actually taking a very small group of people and really impacting their business by everything that we've read, to build something that the entire community will benefit from, but they're the only ones really paying the tax increase.
Now, originally, the city council wanted a 4% tax increase instead of the 2.75. So the city council did vote to take that. Coming up in a few minutes, though, you heard the pushback. We're going to hear from some other council members who are asking, well, what's the better idea? What's the alternative for trying to restore this particular theater?
Tracking some steady rainfall in the Nashville area here at 5:26. Your COVID forecast does not have any severe weather potential in it, but definitely a few more on and off showers, and then thunderstorms will pop up periodically throughout today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. So no one to mow is a no. It's not happening today, tomorrow, or Sunday, just because of how much rain we're going to be seeing on and off. That grass will be wet, and we will be dodging some thunderstorms that will stay sub-severe. So the weekend as a whole, 82 degrees today, 82 degrees tomorrow as well, 85 on Sunday. So Sunday, the warmer day, and also just a couple of pop-up storms for that day. A little more widespread for your Saturday, especially earlier in the day. But many dry hours. Those isolated storms will keep us going here into the upcoming weekend and out of the weekend. How do you track them when you're on the go? Maybe you've got plans. You can't just be glued to the TV all the time. So get the Code Red weather app on your phone. Scan that QR code or go to the Apple or Google Play stores.
527, quick look at your steer clear traffic as you get out the door. Let's get out to I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. This is north of downtown. As you make that stream into town this morning, we're doing okay. No big slowdowns, no big holdups in either direction out there. We're doing okay so far with your particular traffic. Your drive times looking good. Mount Juliet at 27 minutes. Murfreesboro at just under an hour still. Franklin, 25 minutes in from the south side. We'll continue to follow things out there and let you know when things do start to clog up. Well, coming up, Morgan Wallen's chair throwing court case is on the agenda today, but the singer won't be there. We'll tell you why.
Democratic Representative Justin Jones is allowed to run again for the Tennessee General.
Yeah, Saturday on Fox is where it happens. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 5:30 right now on Fox 17 News This Morning. 2 young people arrested after a shooting in Hopkinsville. And right now, police are looking for one more person to bring to justice. And Representative Justin Jones, the controversial Democrat from Nashville, is going to get to keep his name on the ballot. Why a challenge failed overnight.
Waking up this morning with limited visibility in some spots because of steady rainfall that has tracked into the area. What's on the radar now and how active will be coming up into the weekend?
Greg, thanks. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Eric is off today. Let's get straight to our new headlines this half hour. We start with Operation Crime and Justice. Hopkinsville police tell us that 2 young people are under arrest this morning after a shooting that happened near the Christian County Health Department last month. 3 juveniles and 1 adult got hurt in that April 14th shooting. Police also right now are searching for another man in the case. That man's name is Darren Bussell. If you know anything about that shooting that happened there in Hopkinsville last month, please call police. We've got that number right there at the bottom of your screen. Country star Morgan Wallen is in Nashville right now for a 3-night-long concert stint, and he will take the stage at Nissan Stadium tonight, but he will not show up in court this morning. You may recall, if you've been watching the news, that Morgan Wallen is facing charges after being accused of throwing a chair from the top of Chief's Bar last month. You can see something right there circled on your screen dropping from the top of that bar. The chair reportedly landed about 3 feet from where officers had been standing. Morgan Wallen's attorney says that his appearance has been waived because it was, quote, not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, an estimated 50,000 people are expected for night 2 of the 3-night run at Nissan Stadium. Give yourself lots of extra time if you're going. Parking and getting around Nissan Stadium because of new stadium construction is a mess. State Representative Justin Jones, the controversial Democrat from Nashville, is going to appear on the ballot for the August primary. The Davidson County Election Commission making that decision overnight after a nearly 3-hour-long, somewhat intense hearing. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now with more on the challenge that Jones had been facing.
Well, it was a heated meeting, and it comes as no surprise because Democratic Representative Justin Jones is known for his heated exchanges on the House floor here at the Capitol behind me for having an unpopular agenda among the House GOP majority. The Davidson County Election Commission voted 3-1 to allow Jones to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition. Initially, it was 11 signatures, and then changed it to 3 during their presentation. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Nelson first accused Jones of not submitting his initial evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or even were misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits, he says, with physical proof the people identified did sign in support of Jones. The Election Commission told Fox 17 News Jones submitted 26 signatures when typically people send a lot more, so we asked him why.
So we submitted earlier. You want to make us to do extra. The law says 25 certified signatures. We were certified. So the question to you is, why do you want us to do extra work when we were certified before the deadline?
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name, and printed her name incorrectly.
The next step is for the Davidson County Election Commission to set the August ballot. Reporting live in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:35, and rain is the name of the game here going into the weekend. It's not going to rain every hour, not even close to it, but there'll be showers out there periodically on the radar all the way into and out of the upcoming weekend. That includes right now, current Doppler radar showing us some rainfall, a little bit lighter in the Nashville area, but you get south of Nashville and literally crossing I-65 right now is our most decent band worth of rain. Taking a look here down toward Franklin, Leapers Fork, Thompson Station, you put a track on that, really going to cross I-65. And this is no thunder or lightning, just a little heavier when it comes to the rainfall. Within the next 10 minutes, it's right over Leapers Fork at the moment, and same with Thompson Station. We go a little more toward the east. This hasn't moved much in the last 15-20 minutes. McMinnville kind of skirting just to your west, and this is our only really heavy rainfall that we're seeing. We had a thunderstorm that's just breaking up that was right along the Lawrenceburg area. 1 rumble of thunder in the last 10 to 15 minutes, so we haven't been really seeing much out of that. It was a little more active about a half hour ago, and that'll be our scenario throughout this morning as things will pop up, they'll die down. So we'll keep our eyes glued to the radar for you, getting you up and out the door on this Friday. Right side of your screen, we're in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 80s later this afternoon and stay in the 80s all weekend long.
New crash to tell you about. This one's at I-40 at Fester's Lane, just east of downtown Nashville. You can see where police are on the scene with several cars there on the shoulder of the road. So heads up as you make that drive in. We are going to tell you right now, you want to try to take perhaps Elm Hill Pike, Hermitage Avenue as you come out of downtown. That eventually will get you over to Elm Hill Pike. That could be a good way to steer clear. Murfreesboro Road also helps you deal with this, but hopefully it won't be there much longer and they can get it out of there fairly soon. We're going to check in on some other areas of town as we see, I believe, TDOT showing up now to this particular crash. It is wet out there. We could have more crashes like this pop up, so please be aware. Do not travel at normal speed this morning. The roads are not themselves.
Justin, thank you. At 5:37 right now, a high-profile trial could change the fate of Google. What that would mean for our online searches. Plus, coming up later this 5 o'clock hour, is your airline pilot struggling with their mental health?
Garlic butter. Need we say more? Sonic Garlic Butter Bacon Cheeseburger.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. 5:40 is your time, and we got a live look at Smashville. Man, I love how they have just done it up over here. It looks so festive. Get ready because tonight the Preds are at home facing the Vancouver Canucks, and it's going to be, kind of dodging the rain shower kind of a night for the game, but we got to get that win. If they don't win tonight, we're done in the playoffs. So go Preds, we're with you. Fang fingers, as they say, stand with us. Getting to more headlines now this morning. The this has gone on for years. The case of U.S. versus Google is getting close to wrapping up. And what happens here could set a precedent when it comes to reining in these tech giants. Lawyers for the Justice Department and Google have both been, going tit for tat here, delivering their closing arguments just yesterday. The government argues that Google broke federal antitrust laws to keep itself as the dominant search engine on the internet. I mean, think about it. Other than like DuckDuckGo or something like that, what would you use to do an online search? Google says they're just that good. and they didn't have to break any laws to be the dominant search engine. The judge's ruling in this case could break up Google or clear it of any wrongdoing. How that could impact the way that we search online, yet to be seen, but we'll be following it for you.
Very interesting. I mean, we always say go Google it.
Right.
Some names just stick with a certain thing, like when you go to blow your nose. Is it a tissue or is it a Kleenex?
Technically tissue.
It technically is a tissue. Taking a look here. Bridgestone Arena. Yes, we just talked about the Preds taking the ice. It will be 82 today. Jen mentioned it, and yeah, we nailed it here. Some showers and storms will be on the radar late afternoon toward the evening as we're trying to get into Bridgestone. Maybe going to one of the watch parties, or you're just going to be downtown. I mean, we have Morgan Wallen that's just across the river. We've got a whole lot of things happening here. Sounds game out in the Germantown area. So we're going to work through that hour-by-hour forecast for the evening. Just know there will be a few showers and storms out there, and that will continue to be the case for tomorrow. Nashville SC at Geodis Park, 7:30 on the pitch, 78 degrees. Temperatures aren't going to be a problem. You're going to start in the 50s and 60s. You're going to end in the upper 70s and low 80s today, straight through Sunday. And then we'll get a little bit warmer next week. But it is really, how do we contend with the rain, dodge it, still make our plans, and not get soaked? Get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. You can look at Top of the Radar in real time. Also get our hour-by-hour breakdown of the forecast and the 7-day even on the go.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 at Fessler's Lane, and just like that, that crash is gone. That crash was with us there on the shoulder of the road. The tow truck got there, Metro Police got there, and they've dusted that off very quickly. So the trick is when it's raining like this, you don't want these crashes to stick around for very long. It's dangerous for the workers, it's dangerous for Metro Police and everyone else who has to be out there on the shoulder of the road in slick conditions like this. So they want to get these crashes as clear as fast as possible, and they have done just that. There's TDOT resetting the cameras there at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. Overall drive times look like this. Everybody in the green so far, 27 minutes in from Kingston Springs, 52 from Murfreesboro, 27 minutes in from Hendersonville for now.
Thanks, Justin. At 5:43, a mid-state company has an innovative solution that it says will help first responders deal with disasters. We'll take a closer look at that. Plus, well, this, what you're looking at on your screen right here, was found in somebody's pants as they were trying to get on a plane. People from Schneider Electric got together yesterday in Franklin to build a series of mobile microgrids. Take a look at your screen here. These basically allow first responders to set up anywhere with solar power. The nonprofit Footprint Project sends these trailers to cities around the country hit by disasters.
All that needs to be powered. And oftentimes, most of those sites are using fossil fuel generators, and our mission is to help deploy cleaner energy infrastructure into those situations.
Since its start back in 2018, this Footprint Project has sent teams to 25 disaster and recovery missions, including the Mississippi tornadoes just last month. So again, all that happening right here in the mid-state. This morning, the mental health of airline pilots is front and center, especially after we had a pilot, you may remember, who was charged with trying to crash a plane. And he told police about the depression that he was experiencing. The Federal Aviation Administration has now approved 3 more antidepressants for pilots and air traffic controllers. This move adds a whole nother category of antidepressants known as SNRIs to the government's list of approved medications. The list previously did include several SSRI medications like Lexapro or Zoloft. Federal rules require pilots and air traffic controllers to get a medical exam by an FAA-approved doctor as often as 6 months in some cases. Now, some experts said that the FAA's policies would cause pilots to avoid treatment and lie about their mental health just to avoid prematurely ending their flight career. The FAA says the goal now is for more pilots and air traffic controllers to get the treatment they need and still be medically qualified and cleared to work. Tonight, a love scheme that's breaking bank accounts. Man, oh man, romance cons here in our country. You raking in billions of dollars, and those behind the keyboard know what they're doing. From playing the long game to gain your trust to using artificial intelligence, create a fictional person. Once your money's gone, it's almost impossible to get it back.
My whole thing is don't become a victim. I personally have dealt with a half a dozen victims here right in our area who were victimized in this scam.
So tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Megan O'Halloran will tell us about the red flags that you should not ignore, especially if you are in the online dating scene. Well, take a look at this. I know it sounds like something from a movie, but nope, this is real life. You're looking at two snakes that almost got on the plane. Security agents found those two snakes in this camo bag that was stuffed inside a passenger's pants. This was at the Miami International Airport. That looks like an Oakley sunglasses case. Transportation security agents at a checkpoint, thankfully, could you imagine if those things had got out on the plane? Thankfully stopped the passenger who had those two small snakes in that camo bag in their pants. Still don't know whether these things were pets or maybe if this person was trying to smuggle them from somewhere else through the airport in Miami. We still also haven't heard whether they got arrested. Those snakes are rather creepy looking, or is it just me?
I was gonna say that.
A little.
We had snakes hanging off of cars yesterday.
We did, didn't we?
We have snakes in people's pants today.
What in the world?
Florida. I mean, it's Miami International Airport. Florida man puts snakes in his pants, tries around an airplane. There you go.
Hashtag Florida man.
Just saying. Taking a look back home. Drove into some rain here coming into the station this morning. Still some rain out there right now. That's kind of the name of the game for the rest of our upcoming weekend. Taking a look at top of the radar. It's a name of where you're at dictates how you're going to be. If you are Nashville out east, you're not even close to being done with rain this morning. More toward the west. Everything a little more hit and miss here. Right along the Tennessee River, still a few showers that are moving in, but those are a little more broken. The steady, consistent rainfall has definitely been Nashville toward the east and then also down toward the south, right along the I-65 corridor here, Franklin up through Brentwood. Still seeing rain. That has not let up in the last half hour. And then 24 in from Murfreesboro through Smyrna, all the way up to Nashville, still seeing some decent rainfall as well. What does this mean on future track? Slow moving. 7 o'clock taking us into the later hours of this morning. Our best chance to see the most calm period of the radar today is going to be late morning into early afternoon. Then a few more pop-up showers and storms. Here's 5 p.m. for today. Overnight tonight, relatively calm. Well, then we'll repeat the process. Tomorrow morning, a few isolated showers and weak storms, and then we'll have a few more bubble ups that happen for the afternoon. We're going to keep doing this pattern into Sunday and Monday. Rain doesn't completely exit the area until the middle of next week.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 at Fortress Boulevard. This is out in Rutherford County. Traffic there moving along at a pretty good pace. We have reports of a pretty bad accident very close to this, somewhere between here and 840. We've been checking on the cameras, haven't seen it as of yet. We'll continue to follow it and let you know if it's out there or not. Could be a small delay getting in and out of Rutherford County this morning, but so far it looks like typical traffic patterns out there. We'll continue to watch that. This is going to be I-40 at White Bridge Road. The trucks are sleeping there on the shoulder. Everything is okay. They do this every single day just about. There you can find trucks here on the west side of town near White Bridge Road. No big problems, but the roads are wet. We'll continue to watch things for you and get your latest drive times coming up in a few.
Tiger Woods looking for a way to play in the U.S. Open. We'll take a look at what's ahead and a look at a new baby lemur. Oh my goodness.
Have seen a lot of rain in the last couple of days, so you can be prepared if there's flooding in your area. Fox 17 News Code Red weather alerts, empowers, protects.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just a few minutes before 6 o'clock and kind of a dreary start to the day. It's Friday though, so just keep that sunshine in your pocket. Like I like to say, you're going to have to make your own sunshine today. Live look at Nissan Stadium, where they did get night one of Morgan Wallen in and done before the rain moved in. It's going to be a night to dodge the showers tonight and maybe even tomorrow night for rounds 2 and 3. But we'll get you updated on all that here in just a couple minutes. Making headlines this morning, Tiger Woods will tee off at the U.S. Open Championship this summer. He's 48 years old. He did not qualify for the major, but get this, he got a special exemption from the U.S. Golf Association. So he's won this tournament 3 times before. He says he's honored to be able to play. It's going to mark his 23rd career appearance. He won it in 2008. The U.S. Open Championship scheduled to start June 13th.
Time now 5:57. A quick check of the forecast with 2 dogs of the day today. We have the Duncan family sending in their 2 pups right there. We have Harper on the top. That's a retriever here. And then we also have Harper's first sister, Josie, on the bottom left-hand side.
I know the Duncans.
You're kidding me.
I know this family.
It's a small world. We'll say hello to the Duncans, Jen.
Good morning, Duncans.
Thank you for waking up with us here. I love these 2 fur pups. Well, yes, thank you for starting your day with us. It's going to be a tough dog walk this morning. Here we got some rain in many areas. Keep that in mind. You're going to have some wet paws throughout today, tomorrow, and also on Sunday. Mid to upper 60s. That's where we're going to hang out the entire morning for our temperatures. And the rain not going to be consistent all day, but there will be action on the radar. Very hit and miss throughout today. So have the umbrella. Even if it's not raining when you leave the house, you may get rain a little bit later in the day. Send us your dog of the day. Meteorologist Greg Bovis on Facebook. You find that pinned post. You can get your photo right there and see it right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Steer clear traffic just picked up a new crash. This one's coming down from the north side. This is going to be I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. This is in the Goodlettsville area. We believe this crash does have some injuries associated with it. We've seen an ambulance come up here on the scene. They seem to be treating someone as we speak. It's hard to see there because of the lights, but maybe we don't want to see exactly what's happening there. Just know that it could be a pretty long morning for commuters coming down from this north side of town. Let me show it to you here on the maps for you. Again, this is going to be coming down from the Kentucky state line, really Millersville, Goodlettsville, right before exit 97 is where this crash is. You can try to use Highway 31 right here as a good way to steer clear as you make that drive down. We'll continue to watch things and let you know when this clears, and plus we've got other things popping up as the rain continues to fall.
All right, Justin, thanks. Hey, take a look at this. The Nashville Zoo is sharing video of its newest addition. They shared a video of little baby Helios on social media. This is a baby lemur born March 27th, weighs just 4 ounces. Look at this little thing. Bless it, it looks scared to death. Zoo officials say both Helios and mom Phoebe are doing well and will be behind the scenes until the baby is big enough to be outside. Happening tonight, the Nashville Sounds will take on the Norfolk Tides. They're looking for a win after 3 straight losses. Maybe Fox 17 fireworks will give them a little extra energy. It is a Fox 17 fireworks night, and our own Caitlin Miller will be there throwing out the first pitch. Also tonight, it's API Heritage Night, a special night to celebrate Asian and Pacific Islander culture. First pitch set for 6:35. Just make sure you take the rain jacket.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
I just mentioned the Sounds are playing at home tonight, and so are the Preds. It is going to be a big night in Nashville. The Preds take center ice, you can say, for Game 6 of the playoffs. Plus, we've got the Morgan Wallen concert for the rest of the weekend. So much going on in Nashville. We'll get you updated on everything live through 9.
Democratic Representative Justin Jones is allowed to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. Coming up, I'll tell you why a challenge against him failed last night.
And the sun is coming up. The rain is coming down for many of us. Not hanging around that much longer in Nashville for the time being, but we have more rounds of rain toward the weekend in your forecast.
Greg, thanks. And we're going to get to breaking news right now to top off our 6 o'clock hour. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Waddell, getting straight to this from Davidson County as we work to get updates on a pedestrian who has been hit by a car on I-40 this morning. It happened right by the airport at the Donaldson Pike exit. Crews showed up around 1:45 this morning. We understand the pedestrian who got hit did go to the hospital. We are still working to find out more about their condition and also whether the driver involved is going to face any charges. We will continue to update you on this breaking news story as we learn more. And State Representative Justin Jones, the Democrat who has made headlines for bringing some drama to the Tennessee House floor, especially after he got expelled last session. Well, just overnight, we know that he was able to get his name on the ballot for this next round of elections. It didn't come without controversy, though. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to explain what happened.
Good morning. Well, we might be seeing Democratic Representative Justin Jones back at the Capitol here behind me for the next legislative session because last night the Election Commission voted 3-1 to let him run again. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition, putting his bid at risk. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Nelson accused Jones of not submitting his evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or were misspelled. Representative Jones showed affidavits as proof the people identified did sign in support of Jones. The Election Commission tells Fox 17 News Jones submitted 26 signatures when normally people send a lot more. So we asked him why.
I'm going to bring each person who they challenged on this petition because that was submitted as evidence and have them come explain how they signed this petition. Because I don't have my spouse or a family member to testify on my behalf. We have the people of District 52 who signed this petition.
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name and printed her name incorrectly.
The next step for the Davidson County Election Commission is now to set the August ballot. Reporting live from the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:03, rain coming down. Karen has the umbrella. You should have yours with you too. Today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. Very stuck, unsettled pattern of on and off rain showers and weak storms will carry us through the next 4 days. We've got the rain coming down right now in Nashville. It's a little bit lighter than it is down toward the south and to the east of downtown. We can see some areas of some yellow trying to creep up closer to Nashville. But for the most part, it is just that steadier green on the radar, which we like to see. We don't want anything too aggressive here this time of the day on a Friday. But out toward the east, yellows, oranges, and reds pop up. That means areas like Cassville in the next little bit are going to work into this decent downpour. It'll last you a good 15 minutes to a half hour. A little heavier, and it will also reduce some visibility. Keep that in mind. Everything going from bottom left-hand side of your screen to the top right-hand side of your screen. Right now, we're talking Lewisburg pulling away from you. Fayetteville, you have a couple of thunder. A couple of lightning strikes causing a little bit of thunder, I should say there. Moving towards Shelbyville in the next 20 minutes. So you got light rain now. It's going to get heavier, and you may even encounter a little bit of thunder and lightning here. We'll keep looking at the active radar we have this morning, but more importantly, also the future radar to take us into the weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic. All right, a couple of things to tell you about. We have found that crash on I-24 near Fortress Boulevard. This is actually an overturned vehicle. It's tough to see, but the wheels are clearly up in the air. It's right here. They were able to get it back onto its wheels a short time ago. There is a tow truck in place to get this out of here. It is shutting down a couple of lanes here on I-40 as you make your way. It seems to be out of Murfreesboro, so coming out of the city of Murfreesboro towards Smyrna and Laverne is where this particular crash is, so heads up in that area. You can always try to use Highway 41 to steer clear. We're also following, let's show you the other crash on the north side if we can. Here it is. This is going to be I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. You can see TDOT readjusting their cameras. Let's take it full right here. We do have a couple of cars involved in that crash, one over in the grass. This crash does have some injuries involved. Looks like they're getting the tow truck there already. This is a common thing we have seen this morning. Tow trucks moving quickly to get in place to get these crashes out of here, because in wet conditions like this, it is dangerous for everyone out there who are dealing with these crashes. By the way, you want to take Highway 31. It's the best way to steer clear as you make that drive down from Millersville and to the north of town. Here's 31 here. That can get you past this.
Thanks, Justin. 6:06 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. We have an Army Lieutenant Colonel stationed at Fort Campbell who is accused of illegally bringing in guns from Russia, China, and other countries. A grand jury has indicted 40-year-old Frank Ross Talbert on 21 counts. He's pleaded not guilty in federal court in Nashville. He did that just yesterday. We'll be following this story for you to get those updates. And we mentioned the Preds are playing Game 6 tonight here in Nashville, and it's win or they're done. They would be out of the playoffs if they can't beat the Canucks at home on ice tonight at Bridgestone Arena. The Preds, as I mentioned, if they want to extend the season and they win tonight, they will go on the road back to Vancouver for Game 7. Now, unfortunately, the Preds have not had luck on home ice in this playoff round. We lost both of our home matchups, but Vancouver has lost 2 home games as well. So hopefully we're going to get that win tonight. We got Fang fingers up and rooting on the Preds. Stand with us, as they say in Smashville, as we take a live look from Bridgestone Arena on the bottom right side of your screen. By the way, as long as the weather holds off, they will have that party going on at Walk of Fame Park later tonight. Just might need to take a rain jacket. People staying at hotels in Clarksville will be paying a little bit more to do so. The Clarksville City Council voting to raise.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, May 10th.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom on Fox 17 News at 5:30.
6:10 is the time here on this Friday morning. 3 years ago, the city of Clarksville purchased the Roxy Theater. Now, that theater opened up back in 1947. They showed movies back then. In the 80s, it began hosting events like plays and concerts and stand-up comedy. But city leaders have a different vision for the particular building now. They want a multiple stage type of building, multiple theaters of multiple sizes. Think TPAC for Clarksville. But that needs investment, and that's why the city is now asking for a 2.75% on all hotel and motel rooms there within the city. Now listen, they've never had a tax on their hotel and motel rooms before there in the city of Clarksville, and there's some disagreement about whether or not this is a good idea.
I support the arts, I support Roxy, and when I voted to purchase a property, I knew that we were going to pay for a new area, and I stand by that. I just think that we need to continue researching other options.
Reynolds, I was still just looking for the answer to my question, and I know you'll get your opportunity to speak again, but
I don't have all the answers. I'm just saying that I don't agree with that this is the only answer.
I understand.
And that we need to continue that conversation.
Okay.
Well, the city spent $810,000 for the building back in 2021. That measure did pass overnight on a very close vote. A new study is finding that Russia state media is ramping up its English and even Spanish presence on TikTok. The Brookings Institute says that the engagement on those videos has doubled from last year. They include attacks on President Biden's policy on Israel, as well as Biden's age. Now, the report notes many of the videos don't directly focus on U.S. politics. The report also predicts that Russia's use of TikTok will continue to rise after the United States presidential election gets a little bit closer to us. TikTok says that the company clearly labels state-controlled media accounts, but has pledged to add more labels in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, President Biden recently signed a bill that could lead to TikTok's ban across the United States unless it finds a brand new owner. TikTok's CEO said the company would take this bill to court.
Coming up in your forecast, we have rain on the radar right now, and this is the beginning of what is going to be an active weekend. Nissan Stadium right there on your screen. Morgan Wallen taking the stage again tonight. We'll have the concert forecast for you as well.
We've got crashes all over. This one's at I-24 at Fortress Boulevard. I wish this was the only one. It's not. We've got the very latest with your steer clear traffic coming up in a few. And as pro-Palestinian demonstrators spread across the country, even the University of Tennessee students got involved. Several arrests there at UT Knoxville last night. We're going to tell you what police have to say.
Let's get you updated on some things that have been happening overnight right here in Tennessee regarding these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel demonstrations happening at the University of Tennessee. Now, the one that you're looking at right here behind me did come to an end overnight with police arresting 7 students at UT Knoxville and 2 other people after they were told to leave and they refused. Now, the mostly peaceful protest had been on the law school lawn since Wednesday morning. The University Police Department said they gave these protesters a 9 p.m. deadline and said you got to get out by 9. If you don't, you're going to get arrested, and that's what happened. Some of these students also may be facing suspension from the University of Tennessee. We'll be following this story as we learn more. And all this, of course, as demonstrations across the country have flared up, and so many of them have turned to violence. Look at the scene at UCLA. Watching this video it's so troubling. Looking at not only what these rioters have done to the college campuses themselves. I mean, they look like trashed war zones in some cases. But you think about all the money that's being taken up with law enforcement having to, cover these places. We've had 200 people arrested at UCLA. All in all, when we look at the toll, we're thinking about 2,200 people nationwide that have been arrested at some of these demonstrations across the country. Right now, crime and justice, and we go to Murfreesboro, where police are warning that online and phone scammers have stolen thousands of dollars from elderly people in the area. We have a 75-year-old man who got targeted from scammers pretending to be a computer company who tricked that man into sending more than $130,000. And a 73-year-old man who was browsing on eBay who clicked on a fake advertisement and lost $32,000. Again, folks, this is happening right here at home. This is in Murfreesboro. So tips to avoid scam calls. If somebody calls you claiming you owe them money, whether they claim to be from the government or a company, police or whatnot, hang up. Look up the real number for that government agency or company on their official website. Then you can call and see whether that request is real or a scam. Hey, check this out. This is just totally Nashville. So we take a live look on Lower Broadway. It is rainy to start the morning, but man, sunshine, rainbows, and horses on Broadway yesterday. Tanya Tucker making a grand entrance for her grand opening of a new tequila cantina that's popping up at Nudies. She rode down Broadway on her horse. She's done this before. It's kind of become her thing. Tucker put on a performance at Nudies for all of her fans who showed up. Some people traveled from states away, including Joe and Ella, a father and daughter who came from Atlanta.
When my dad was growing up, Tanya was his favorite singer, and so I've grown up because he's my dad, like listening to her my whole life, and this has been something we've done together. Like, we've gone to Winona, Reba, but Tanya, we've gone like literally all over the South to see her.
Oh, what a great trip for that father-daughter duo. Tanya Tucker's new pop-up is on the second floor of Nudies Honky Tonk. Still trying to find out how long she's going to be there, but we know she's selling her own tequila. I'll tell you what, it's been really neat to see all of these country superstars put their names behind different ventures in Nashville.
It is, and then you see kind of the style that they all pick, kind of how it represents them when you see them when they're either in their artwork from their album covers down all the way down to their songs. It is really cool to see how it's all kind of transforming.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot going on this weekend.
We sure do.
We've got a lot going on the radar too, so we'll take a look at how that could impact what's working into the next 2 to 3 days worth of events. Taking a look, getting out the door here to start your Friday morning, whether you're heading to work, getting the kids to school. We have some showers in a few areas here to talk about. You get Columbia down through Lawrenceburg and things are getting a little bit better. It's pulling toward the east. The one thunderstorm we've got right into the Tullahoma area. Nashville. Rain is getting a little bit lighter, but it's still there. And then you push off toward the east. Say you take I-40 east from Nashville, we're seeing quite a bit of rain still in that direction. So the more east we get of 65 and the more south we get of 40, those are the areas that are seeing the most prominent rainfall. To start off this morning, 7 o'clock goes to 10. Now, it's not going to be completely dry at 10 a.m., but late morning into early afternoon are most likely drier hours in the forecast. And then a few more isolated showers and weak storms going to pop up for us late afternoon into this evening. We do it again tomorrow. We start off with some morning rain. We get a little break late morning, and then we bring in more showers and storms. Here's 1 p.m. for your Saturday. Expect this process to just be a shower, rinse, repeat, quite literally, today, tomorrow, and on Sunday as we go through the next 72 hours.
Steer clear traffic gets you out to I-24 at I-40. This is where we are dealing with a crash east of town. You can see multiple lanes being shut down because of this particular crash there as you make that drive in at a really tough spot. This is where 40 meets 24, essentially there at the junction. So heads up as you make your way in from whether you're coming from Antioch or whether you're coming from Donaldson. This is going to affect you just the same because it's at the merge point. So you want to try to take whatever you can there in your particular area, whether that's Murfreesboro Pike if you're coming in from Antioch, or Lebanon Pike, Elm Hill Pike if you're coming in from Donaldson, and that can get you past some of this. The tow truck crews are there trying to remove it out of the way. We do have another view of the crash from back behind it here, I-24 at I-440. It's at the camera there, but we're showing where those lanes are closed. One more thing to show you, and that's north of town, 65 at Long Hollow Pike, coming in from the Goodlettsville area. Hey, Millersville, Portland, Orlinda, all of you up there on the north side of town, White House, as you make your way in, they've got it squeezed down to one lane. You want to use Highway 31 to steer clear.
It's a bit of a mess out there. Justin, thank you. Oh, have you heard the sounds yet? Those are the cicadas, and they are returning to Middle Tennessee, making plenty of noise on their grand entrance. They're not going to be here for long, but some of you here in the Mid-State are going to see a whole lot of them. In fact, thanks for all of you who have already sent in your best pictures. Let's take a look at what we're going to see and where. This is a map showing you all the different broods and locations. This is approximate from the U.S. Forest Service. We've got brood 19, brood 13 in the red, and then what they're calling other broods that won't be active. So the counties that are highlighted in green, right? So we're looking at Montgomery County, Davidson County, Rutherford County. You are going to see the brood 19 this month. Now, some of them are already coming out, which is what we've seen. The counties that are highlighted in yellow here are designated as other brood counties, and they probably won't emerge this year. And it's going to be, you know, a bit of a toss-up for those of you who aren't highlighted at all as to how many you're going to see. And you're sounding off already over on our Twitter page, where we put up a poll saying, you know, let us know of what you're seeing. You can head to twitter.com and search Fox Nashville to let us know. We have Middle Tennessee companies that plan to lay off nearly 2,000 workers. Which companies just filed notice? And it's a historic Derby Day coming up this weekend. More on the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 17 News this morning. Maybe you're heading
and whatever you're facing, you'll always come out right.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:25. We've got some headlines this morning when it comes to layoffs. Unfortunately, they are coming for two mid-state companies.
Yeah, the National Aerospace Solutions LLC in Tullahoma is preparing to lay off around 1,700 workers. That company located at the Arnold Air Force Base. We understand that many of those workers could be offered a position to keep working at other sections of the base.
And then in Nashville, the company Sodexo Live is expected to lay off 92 employees. Just a moment ago, I was looking up that company. I'd never heard of them. They're a hospitality industry company and provide a lot of services to events and whatnot here
not just
in Nashville.
Cafeteria foods and things like that in local colleges and hospitals.
We've seen a lot of hits to that portion of the hospitality industry. All right. Looking ahead to the weekend, we've got the historic running of the 150th Kentucky Derby.
This is happening there at Churchill Downs in Louisville, and they are preparing for their biggest party of the year. If you've never been to Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, it is something to see. The top contenders, as far as the race itself is concerned, in this year's horses, they include Sierra Leone, West Saratoga, and Fierceness. They are all part of the particular rundown. What makes the Derby unique is the horses have just one chance to run it, since it's only 3-year-olds that can't compete.
It is the first jewel of the Triple Crown alongside the Preakness in a couple weeks, and then we've got Belmont Stakes coming up in June. Post time is at 5:57 p.m. Central. How's the weather going to hold up if you're going to the Derby this weekend? Yeah, you'll definitely want to check before you go, and I don't know if you're going to maybe carry an umbrella. Don't put a bag over the big pretty hat.
No. Nobody wants that.
You have to take a parasol.
Yeah, you need
instead
something
of an
fashionable.
umbrella. Yes, the parasol. And hey, if you're staying here for Morgan Wallen, because man, we got so much going on in Nashville. Also, might be having to dodge some showers for the Morgan Wallen concert. Last night was great. I've already heard from a lot of folks who said the weather held out. Tonight and tomorrow night, though, check it out. Temperatures in the 70s, so warm, but we've got a chance for thunderstorms. Unfortunately, both nights. Go prepared, take the poncho, not an umbrella, and just, enjoy the magic of what people call rain shows that just have a whole unique vibe.
All right, rain shows. All right. 6:27. Here's a quick look at the latest happening out there. This is not a rain show. This is I-24 at I-40 just east of downtown. This is one of a few crashes we're following here. They've got several cars pulled over to the shoulder of the road. You want to try to take Murfreesboro Pike or Lebanon Pike is the best way to steer clear because it's right there at the junction. We're also following something happening to the north of town near Long Hollow Pike. We're going to take you up there coming up in a few minutes.
And we just mentioned Morgan Wallen and the 3-night concert here in Nashville, also updating you on the court case that's on the dock for today and why the singer won't be there.
Plus, Representative Justin Jones is going to...
This is not a claim.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 6:31 right now. The Nashville representative who got expelled and then reinstated for leading protests on our House floor, Justin Jones, will get to keep his name on the upcoming ballot. We'll break down the developments new from overnight. And a rainy start to your Friday. Make sure you got the rain gear handy, especially if you have any outdoor events tonight and into the weekend. We'll join Greg in moments for the newest information he's tracking in your forecast.
Plus, steer clear traffic takes us to I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. We're dealing with a crash in this area, and this is not the only place. We'll give you a full look at your traffic coming up.
So much happening new this half hour, including this breaking news. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Thanks for joining us. Spring Hill High School is closed today. Here's what we've just learned from Murray County Public Schools. They have moments ago confirmed that an email that they sent us does describe damage to school property and vandalism that happened late last night. The school's making the urgent announcement about the closure right now on their Facebook page. So if you're waking up with us right now in Murray County, we are just learning that Spring Hill High School, just the high school today, will be closed as a result of what happened overnight. We know that law enforcement right now is looking into events that happened at the school overnight. They tell us, again, there is damage to the school plus the vandalism. So Murray County, Spring Hill High School closed for today. Just as soon as we get more information from police and the school district, we'll be bringing you more live through 9 a.m. And in Nashville, country star Morgan Wallen will take the stage at Nissan Stadium again tonight. It's night 2 of a 3-night concert series, but he will not show up in court this morning. Morgan Wallen, in case you missed it, is facing charges accused of throwing a chair from the rooftop of Chief's Bar last month. That's Eric Church's new place. You can see something falling from the rooftop there, circled in that video. We understand that the chair reportedly landed about 3 feet from where police had been standing at the time. Morgan Wallen's attorney says that his appearance was waived because it was not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, about 50,000 people packed Nissan Stadium last night. We're expecting that for tonight and Saturday as well. Heads up for you in traffic. Give yourself extra time because the construction around Nissan Stadium is causing some issues. State Representative Justin Jones, the controversial Democrat, is going to appear on the ballot for the August primary. The Davidson County Election Commission making that decision overnight after a nearly 3-hour-long heated meeting. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar breaking down what all happened.
The Davidson County Election Commission voted 3-1 to allow Democratic Representative Justin Jones to run again for the Tennessee General Assembly. He is most known for his unpopular agenda among the House GOP majority, most notably his views on gun reform, which led to his expulsion. Republican candidate Laura Nelson challenged the signatures on Jones' petition to run again. Initially, it was 11 signatures and then changed it to 3 during their presentation. In order to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters in their district. Nelson first accused Jones of not submitting his initial evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or were misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits, he says, with physical proof that the people identified did in fact sign in support of Jones.
So we submitted earlier. You want to make us to do extra. The law says 25 certified signatures. We were certified. So the question to you is, why do you want us to do extra work when we were certified before the deadline?
On 4, you can see Jennifer Bontusa's printing, how she prints her name. And by the way, she prints her name with 2 N's. On the petition, the nominating petition of Mr. Jones, whoever signed her name and printed her name incorrectly.
Representative Jones will be on the ballot for the August primaries. The next step is for the Election Commission to set that August ballot. Reporting in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:35, rain coming down for many of us here, tracking what is on the radar and looking ahead to a fairly active weekend. We don't have any days that are going to give us code red weather, so no severe thunderstorms, but definitely going to have some downpours at times, and they're going to come in waves throughout the weekend. Not raining the entire time. Nashville gotten a little bit better. It's still coming down, but we're so close to the end of this really steady rainfall that we've been with here the better course of the last 3-4 hours. And then we'll see a few more little pockets move in throughout the morning. Still very steady. If you go down toward the south, Lewisburg out toward Fayetteville, seeing that yellow coloring on the radar showing us moderate rainfall, so a little bit heavier. And then the heaviest of the rain that we're seeing is in the Shelbyville area, pulling out toward the north and the east. Manchester, in about 15 minutes, you'll start seeing it. Cookeville, you got light rain right now. The heavier rainfall gets to you momentarily. And Crossville, a little light sprinkle. But this band of decent rain is going to be tracking your way in about 15 minutes. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, not quite as warm as the last 2 days were. We're going to be in the low 80s today and tomorrow, middle 80s on Sunday. Right side of your screen, your current temps.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out the door if we can, and pardon my dust. Here we are, I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. As you get out the door this morning, we've got a crash up there in that area that has stacked things up as you make your way down from the White House, from Portland or Linda, in Millersville, anywhere north of town. You can try to use Highway 31 as the best way to steer clear of that. We're also following the leftovers of a crash at 24 at I-440, still dealing with that there on the south and east side. One more crash to show you, in this one, 65 at Fern Avenue, as you try to get out the door there.
All right, Justin, thank you so much. 2 young people arrested after a shooting in Hopkinsville, and right now police are looking for one more person.
Here comes Cookie, Cooks Pest Control.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
.39 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, police say that 2 juveniles are under arrest because of a shooting that happened near the Christian County, Kentucky Health Department. This happened last month.
Yeah, so we understand when the shooting happened, there were 3 young people and 1 adult who got hurt.
Yeah.
This was back on April 4th in Hopkinsville, 14th rather, April 14th in Hopkinsville. We understand right now that police are also searching for another man in the case, Darren Bussell, in addition to the 2 young people you were just mentioning.
Yeah, they were asking anyone who has seen Mr. Bussell to please call the number right here at the bottom of your screen. Well, police in Indianapolis are now sharing video of a water rescue. Happened earlier this week. Take a look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That car upside down in a ditch filled with water.
Look at the airbag they were getting out of the way. My goodness. Deputies removed that airbag you could see right there so that they could ultimately get to her. And here she comes out of the window.
Wow.
They pull her out. She did go to the hospital with injuries, but overall is expected to be okay.
Great work by them, and boy, she's a survivor. have quite a story to share. Speaking of stories, let's get to Greg. He's got your weather story for today.
That we do, yeah. Rain is the name of the game, not just today, tomorrow, also on Sunday. Temperatures have eased back a little bit from the upper 80s. We'll still be above the 80-degree mark, but we're not going to be quite as uncomfortably warm. Taking a look, 6 a.m. on future track, going to 7 and then going to 10. Showers will weaken here in the coming hours. Still a little action on the radar late morning and early afternoon, but not nearly as widespread. Best chance to get a few dry hours really will be the early afternoon hours, and then we go to 5 o'clock. A few more pop-up showers and storms mixed in with sunshine. No severe weather and no code red weather that we have to contend with here in the next 3 days, but just these waves of rain that will be on and off for us here all the way through your Saturday and your Sunday. And then taking a look real quick at our curious question for today. Wearing a necktie can reduce blood flow to your brain by what percent? 1.5%, 7.5%, 9.5%, or 12.5%. Just saying. I'll have the answer for you coming up soon.
How tight is your tie?
I was going to say the irony that Greg went tieless today.
What are you doing?
By the way, Greg, we love the look.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to I-65 in Long Hollow Pike. This is in Goodlettsville. This is where we are continuing to follow the leftovers of a crash that hopefully will be clearing out of the way here. Coming up over the next few minutes, you can see where they've gotten everything just about packed up. And once they do, that will really free things up as you come down from White House or Olinda and Cross Plains, places like that. We're still dealing with the crash happening here at 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass on the north side of town. You want to try to take Ellington Parkway or Dickerson Pike to steer clear.
All right, Justin, thank you. By the way, we will be live through 9 a.m. for you to get you all those important detours as those crashes stack up. Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning as well, the U.S. now issuing a warning for people not to travel to Germany. Their concerns about terrorism that have prompted this new move.
And taking care of your brain. You can apparently take off.
And watch Fox 17 News at 9.
Happening tonight, a love scheme that's breaking some bank accounts. Romance cons in the U.S. are raking in billions of dollars, and the people behind the keyboards know exactly what they're doing. From playing the long game to try to get your trust to using artificial intelligence to create fictional people. Once your money is gone, it's almost impossible to get back.
My whole thing is don't become a victim. I personally have dealt with a half a dozen victims here right in our area who were victimized in this scam.
So tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Megan O'Halloran is going to tell you about the red flags you cannot afford to ignore. New this morning, the U.S. State Department is warning Americans who are planning to visit Germany to exercise increased caution due to terrorism concerns. They issued a level 2 advisory for Germany, saying that terrorist groups continue to plan attacks in Germany. They say travelers should use extra caution, especially if you're planning to go to popular sites, if you're using main transportation hubs, if you're going to shopping malls, clubs, cultural events. So think big areas where a lot of people would gather. The department says that American tourists should also develop their own plans of action, know what to do if something were to go down, and know safe areas to get to if an attack happens. All right, question for you. When was the last time that you actually stopped and you thought about your own mental health? If you haven't given your brain and your emotions a little TLC lately, now would be a good time to do that, especially because May marks National Mental Health Awareness Month. Fox News' Chris Demio taking a closer look at what you and your family can do to promote overall wellness, plus how, social media could be harming our happiness.
With May marking National Mental Health Awareness Month, psychologists say it's okay not to be okay, encouraging people to reduce the stigmas surrounding mental health disorders and seek help.
We all have anger. We all have stress.
The National Institute of Mental Health estimates more than 1 in 5 adults are living with a mental illness. This, as data from the National Alliance on Mental Illness reveals, 1 in 6 kids ages 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder every year.
The self-confidence that we can handle difficult situations is something that if we can teach kids and have these experiences for children that they get through difficult times, then as adults, when you're faced with difficult times, you're more likely to be able to cope with it.
Because kids can have a harder time putting their feelings into words.
Taking the amount of time that maybe you spend on social media and applying it to talking to your child can be really helpful.
Meanwhile, a growing number of psychologists recommend parents talk to their kids about how the media they consume can negatively impact their minds.
There's a lot of research that shows that engaging with appearance-focused content is worse for us. So if it's very appearance-focused, body-focused, etc., those tend to be worse for mental health.
Experts also warn levels of mental health issues like eating disorders and body dysmorphia could worsen as artificial intelligence and filters become more integrated into social media platforms.
The average person can generate images of themselves or use these AI generators to modify how they look, and they don't have to disclose that. And I think it's really going to be tough to navigate because it's inherently really unattainable, right?
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Chris, thank you. Hey, check this out. When the employees at Zoo Knoxville give safety demonstrations, everybody listens. Do you ever feel like somebody's watching you? Watch this. One of the zoo's employees is giving a demonstration, and watch this giraffe. Just watching intently. You might remember Zoo Knoxville recently welcomed a rare spotless giraffe last summer, but this one right here definitely has its spots, and it is paying very close attention. That's so cute. Peering over the shoulder there. Maybe it thought there was going to be a treat coming.
Maybe. Or just thinking, what's this human doing?
That also just made me think about your curious question of the day not too long ago when you were asking about which of these animals don't have top teeth.
Yep.
Giraffes don't.
Giraffes don't.
We also learned goats don't.
Nope.
And what was cows?
Cows don't either. Also, the giraffes will probably be inside today at the zoo because they're 30 times more likely to be struck by lightning.
They got the tall necks. They're closer. They're closer to the.
They're a little bit up there. Okay, today's curious question.
Yes.
Has to do with blood flow to the brain.
This one cracked me up.
Wearing a necktie can reduce the blood flow to your brain by what percent? This is an actual scientific study. 1.5%, 7.5%, 9.5%, or 12.5%. Jen?
Okay, so I told Greg my initial guess during the commercial break is D, just because I feel like that's the highest number and it would seem to be the most shocking. So I'm going to go with D.
Going to go with D? You know, that would be the most shocking for sure, but even 7.5% of the blood that goes to your brain if your necktie is too tight.
That's a lot.
Yeah, loosen it up.
I'm just thinking of all the men right now who are at home going, that's it. I'm not wearing the necktie again.
Join the club. Let's do it. Let's make a thing out of it. Flights here into and out of BNA. I've been watching real carefully because we've had a lot of rainfall here over the last couple of hours. A few more isolated showers and storms possible as we go into the 70s later on this afternoon. The good thing, just check the board though. Only 3 delays into or out of BNA and no cancellations so far. We're sitting in the 60s on the way to 82.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A trio of peaceful Michigan sunrises, from Reed's Lake to this perfect alignment in the middle of a decorative prism, and multiple sunshine reflections in the rippling waters at Diamond Lake. Looks like nature is playing skip rocks with the sun. And cicadas are back, 2 broods emerging in parts of the country. These were spotted hanging around and making a racket in North Carolina.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic. We are dealing with a crash on the north side. Let's go to I-65 at Fern Avenue at the overpass there. You can see where they've got several cars pulled over on the shoulder of the road. This was a much bigger scene a short time ago. They've been able to get things down quite a bit there so you can handle it and get through it. You can always use Dickerson Pike or Ellington Parkway is a good way to steer clear from that north side of town. Overall drive times looking okay. Mount Juliet coming in at 27 minutes. Murfreesboro just over an hour. Franklin at 28 minutes so far from the south side.
Developing right now, we take you live to New York City as former President Donald Trump will be in court again this morning, making his 11th court appearance since this hush money trial started. We've got a live look, as I mentioned, right now. You can see folks gathering outside. Here's what's interesting. Legal experts just yesterday were going on record as saying they think the prosecution's case against Mr. Trump seems to be cracking, especially because Michael Cohen, the star witness for the prosecution, hasn't taken the stand. The same analysts following the case also say there hasn't been any hard evidence to suggest Mr. Trump committed a crime. So we're following the latest developments for you. We'll tap in live as they come in through 9 a.m. And still to come in our 7 o'clock hour this morning, the deadly fight at the
10 times more than the insurance company offered.
Don't let an accident wreck your life. Call Ponce Law, Justice for All, 615-244-4321.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning on this Friday, May 3rd. A big turnout on Broadway as Blake Shelton's Old Red Bar celebrates 6 years in Nashville. Hard to believe they've been around that long. But the bar had a free birthday bash yesterday featuring performances from Old Red original artists like Juliet. I had a chance. My parents were in town a few weeks ago and I took them to Old Red and we saw Juliet perform. She is fantastic. She is so good. Lots of people sharing some special birthday messages. Take a listen.
Hey y'all, it's Alex from the Mobile Homeboys.
Hey y'all, it's Sarah from Hudson Valley.
Hey everybody, Scotty Mack.
I'm Robbie. I'm Holland. We're Whiskey Cash and Roses.
Hey guys, it's Gracia.
What's up y'all? It's Haley Mae Campbell.
We're Kelly and Sarah.
It is Crystal Steele.
It's Channing from the band Lake and Lindell.
Hey y'all.
Hey, Lance and Lee here.
Matt Rogers here. Orlando Mendez.
It's Rachel Porter.
It's Charity.
Tim Cody here.
AJ.
Zach Ray.
Alana Scott here.
Landon Parker here.
It's the Curve.
Just wanted to wish Old Red Nashville the happiest of birthdays.
Well, that sure was fun. Those are folks who have all performed there at Old Red on Lower Broadway. By the way, in case you're thinking, maybe we need to get into something today. Old Red opens at 11 a.m. A horse that once topped them all in the Run for the Roses still has folksy charm at 30. Silver Charm, the winner of the 1997 Kentucky Derby, is long past looking for the Triple Crown greatness. But even at 30 years old this year, he still has a purpose in life. Entertaining visitors, look at this, entertaining visitors with friendly gentleness and also helping old friends. Farm founder Michael Blowen keep the lights on. That's thanks to Kentuckians, where raising thoroughbreds is part of cultural pride. How about that? The oldest living Kentucky Derby winner, still kicking. Silver Charm, by the way, the stallion unfortunately only has 4 teeth left, but they're enough to eat 200 pounds of cookie crumbs a month.
Hey, you know what? I'll take a cookie crumble. I'm just saying.
Right?
Taking a look there, but it was cute if you saw in the video. Yeah, his little tongue sticks out.
Bless it.
30 years young. Taking a look here at a Doppler radar that has a little improvement in the Nashville area. Light sprinkles now. We don't have the consistent, steady rainfall. Most of that has moved to the east of I-65. Everything west of it, small little pockets of showers that I'll keep tracking for you as we go into our 7 o'clock half hour. We have our dogs of the day, Harper and Josie, sent in by the Duncan family, and this is a dog walking day where you just can't avoid wet paws and wet pavement. It's just going to be that way for the next couple of days here. You can find your pockets of opportunity when it's not necessarily raining actively, but there will be a lot of wet grass too. Temperatures stay in the 60s all the way until 10 o'clock, and then eventually we'll make our way up to 82 degrees. Not quite as hot as the last 2 days, and fairly overcast when it isn't raining. Our best chance for a few breaks and a little bit of sunshine will be late afternoon, but that will also be another chance for a few more pop-up showers and storms. A new look at future track also as we go live and local for you from 7 to 9.
Greg, thank you. About 30 seconds before 7 o'clock. We've had so much going on in steer clear traffic. This is one of several issues we've been monitoring for you. I-65, Fern Avenue, a lot of police presence, TDOT, and a crash here. This is just north of downtown Nashville, impacting your morning commute. Good detours here could be Dickerson Pike or maybe even Ellington Parkway if you need to get around them. We're going to check in again with a live look in steer clear traffic in moments with Justin McFarland. Stick with us. Our 7 o'clock hour starts now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, road closures and traffic for a very busy Friday. I'll tell you why and where.
Plus, the very latest on a state lawmaker who will now get his name on the ballot. We're going to tell you about the long hearing last night that decided the fate of Justin Jones.
Waking up this morning, here are some showers that are on the radar. How long they will last? We'll find the most opportune moments to get outside today before more rain arrives.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica's off today. We've got breaking news right now. In case you missed it when we first brought it to you in our 6 o'clock hour, Spring Hill High School in Murray County is closed today. This is an urgent message that just was announced this morning from Murray County Public Schools. What they've done is they've confirmed to us through an email that there is damage to school property and vandalism that happened overnight at Spring Hill High School.
Now, the schools made this announcement about the closure on their Facebook page. We now know school officials and law enforcement are looking into the events that happened at the school last night. Now, as soon as we get more details, maybe some pictures that we can confirm, anything like that, we'll be sure to let you know right here on Fox 17 News This Morning.
Also happening today, country star Morgan Wallen will take the stage at Nissan Stadium for the second night of a 3-night concert series. But Morgan Wallen will not be in court this morning regarding the case against him.
Now, Wallen is accused of several different charges, and that includes throwing a chair from the rooftop of Chief's Bar last month. You can see something, perhaps a chair, perhaps not, falling from the rooftop there on your screen, circled in red. The chair landed about 3 feet away from a couple of Metro police officers who were down below. His attorney says that his appearance was waived because it was not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, an estimated 50,000 people showed up at Nissan Stadium last night, and 50,000 more expected tonight for his 3-night run there at the stadium for his tour.
And speaking of things going on here in Nashville, we are preparing for a very busy weekend. Not just Morgan Wallen's concert series, but we've got the Preds with that home playoff game tonight. We have a home game for the Sounds. We have college graduations. And so even Metro Police have gone so far as to put out a warning about how to make sure you are prepared.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar breaks down what you need to know before you're heading out tonight.
Good morning. And just for Morgan Wallen's concert alone, around 50,000 people are expected to come here behind me to the Nissan Stadium for day 2 of his concert. It begins at 6 this evening. And as you mentioned, yes, there is more than one event, so you're going to be seeing heavy traffic and long lines towards the gates. The Woodland Street Bridge will close to traffic around 5 this evening and will be only available to pedestrians and WeGo buses. Parking on the Nissan Stadium campus is by pre-sold permit only. Those that don't have a parking pass are encouraged to use Uber or Lyft or figure out where to park outside of Nissan Stadium. Here's Kate Guerra, the VP of Communications at Titans and Nissan Stadium, to tell you what's the main thing you should do this weekend.
It's extremely important to have your transportation plan ready. We work very closely with our partners that are here today to make the experience of getting to, from, and around Nissan Stadium as seamless as possible.
Metro Police is also advising people to leave their valuables at home, or if you're going to bring them with you inside of your car, to lock them up to prevent a break-in. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And with so much going on downtown here this next couple of days, weather's going to be a big part of the story, even just getting to these events, even if they're indoors, just that outdoor 5-minute downpour can really catch you off guard. Be prepared for it. Right now, not much happening in the Nashville area, but you get east of I-65, steady rainfall. West of I-65, things are a little bit lighter, and they're much more hit and miss. But the steady, consistent rainfall making its way back into the Winchester area. In about 5 minutes from now, Tullahoma, it's light. You've been kind of on and off with it here in the last 15 minutes. It'll get steady once again for about a half hour here coming up, and about 10 minutes for you guys. Crossville, so close right now, not much happening. You'll go from almost nothing to a decent downpour in roughly 10 to 12 minutes from right now. Taking a look, kids getting on the buses heading to school with the rain gear. First bell, 68 degrees, 80 degrees after school. So we're still decently warm, just not as hot as we were the last few days. It's a little muggy outside too. Keep that in mind. The humidity can be felt even indoors sometimes this time of the year. 78 degrees at 5 o'clock, 75 at 7, and 71 at 9 p.m. After school sports. There will be hit and miss showers and storms on the radar. It's not storms for everyone, but they could be an impact if you happen to get stuck under one.
Steer clear traffic at 7:05. Quick look outside brings us to I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. You can see that for yourself. Crews are moving along there and trying to get that accident cleared. It is shutting down at least one lane as you make your way in. You can try to take things like Ellington Parkway or Dickerson Pike is the best way to steer clear of that. We've also picked up a crash. This is coming in from the west side of town near Kingston Springs. A crash there very close to the exit 188, backing things up quite a ways. You could try to take Highway 70 is the best way to steer clear of that.
We have continuing coverage now on a story that we've been following for the last week or so. We understand as of this morning that controversial Democrat Representative Justin Jones from Nashville will get his name on the primary ballot for this summer. The Davidson County Election Commission votes overnight to allow his name on the ballot. Now, the reason this all came to a head was because his challenger, Republican candidate Laura Nelson, said that some of the signatures on Jones's petition weren't legal. Now, in order to run, a person has to get 25 signatures from voters in their district. Justin Jones submitted 26. One of them was ruled ineligible. And Laura Nelson was accusing him of not submitting initial evidence on time, challenged some of the other signatures, claiming they didn't match previous signatures or that names were misspelled.
Now, Representative Jones presented affidavits that he says is proof that people did indeed identify with as the person that they signed for. The next step is for the Davidson County Election Commission to officially put his name on the ballot. That could happen a little bit later today with a formal vote.
Staying at a hotel in Clarksville, get ready to pay a little more. City Council votes to raise the tax in order to pay for the restoration of a historic theater. And not everybody's on board with it. Justin's going to explain why in minutes.
Plus, we're your only news station right now, keeping up with your traffic and weather reports live. We've got everything to tell you about, including some rain falling and accidents on the road. We'll be right back.
The Houston Roughnecks catch for 6. Take on A.J. McCarron and the St. Louis Battle. Touchdown!
Saturday at 2 on Fox 17.
There are so many jackpots at Oak Grove Gaming, it's winsational.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because there are people out there who aren't you. A lot of them. And you don't drive like, whoa.
I don't want my child being raised by a robot.
Other drivers are not you.
Yes, thank you so much to all 50 of my subscribers.
Nope, definitely not you. Save with DriveWise and get a rate based on you. Call or visit allstate.com for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
As a Marine, it was my job to serve and protect my country, and I've brought those same promises to Force Roofing Systems. As a GAF Master Elite Contractor, we're dedicated to protecting your home using top-tier roofing products. And when you book with us this month, you'll be upgraded to a 25-year workmanship warranty. That's the Force Protection Guarantee. Our local team of experienced roofing warriors will make your roof a fortress of protection for your family. Force Roofing Systems, providing protection against the storm, today and every day.
Swing into summer with Nashville Sounds Baseball. May kicks off with a series against the Norfolk Tides and 3 giveaways in 1 week, including a Sounds tumbler, Johnny and George tea, and a mini safe. The AAA White Sox come to town at the end of the month for 6 games that include more fun for you, a Hit City hat giveaway and a puzzle giveaway. Plus, there are always fireworks on Fridays and autograph sessions and kids round the bases on Sundays. Tickets start at just $10 for every home game and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. See you in Hit City.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:09 is the time. 3 years ago, the city of Clarksville purchased the Roxy Theater. Excuse me, I'm not sure why Representative Justin Jones is behind us here. It's okay. But 3 years ago, not Representative Jones, but the city of Clarksville did open up the Roxy Theater there, and they bought it for themselves. Now, it has been hosting movies there in Clarksville since 1947, but starting in the 80s, it started to play home to concerts and plays and stand-up comedy. But now city leaders have something a little bit different in sight for this particular venue. They say they want something much bigger that has multiple stages, multiple theaters, can hold lots of different things. But to do that, the theater needs investment. That's why the city's asking for a 2.75% tax on all of the hotel and motel rooms there in the city of Clarksville. Now, they've never had a tax on their hotel and motel rooms before, and some are in disagreement about whether or not this is a wise investment.
I'm doing my best to separate out emotion from this, because I'll be honest, some of the emails that I got have ranged from condescending to insulting. So I'm going to answer some of the questions that have been asked of me over the course of this process. Do I think Clarksville is a destination city? Yes, I do. Do I think people are going to come to Clarksville to see a play at the Roxy? Yes, I do.
Now, the city spent $810,000 for that building back in 2021. It's unknown exactly when construction will get started on their brand new Performing Arts Center.
And taking a look here, coming up in the forecast, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to some rainfall that we're dealing with right now. You can see, yep, that's coming down. It's going to continue to track through as we go into the next couple of hours. We'll get a little break. We're going to time that up. Much more coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Get you out to I-65 and Fern Avenue at the overpass there. We've got a tow truck in place. Look at where this tow truck is on the other side of the screen. What is it doing over there? So apparently there must be a car somewhere else that we just can't see, perhaps tucked away in that brush based on where that tow truck is. They wouldn't be there trying to get a car from the other side. We also see some Metro Police cars there on the shoulder of the road. So apparently there's a car off the road there into that wooded area. So they're going to be there for a little while trying to get that car out. I'll be curious to watch this scene because I don't see a car, but clearly something is there. You can try to take Ellington Parkway or Dickinson Pike. It's the best way to steer clear of that. Well, in your community, a mid-state company is now working with a nonprofit to help first responders. Around 200 people from Snyder Electric got together yesterday in Franklin, and they are building a series of mobile microgrids. Now, this allows first responders to set up shop anywhere. The nonprofit Footprint Project sends these trailers to cities around the country that are hit by disasters. Now, since the start of the project back in 2018, the Footprint Project has sent people and these microgrids to 25 missions, including down to Mississippi that was hard hit by tornadoes last March.
Coming up next, a combat veteran goes from near suicide to saving people from suicide.
The old Julie.
Firing your therapist is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy. Morgan & Morgan, the choice is easy.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
We have a Nashville combat veteran who continues to save lives. Sarah Lee has gone from considering suicide to living a life of purpose, and this turnaround is part of the Waypoint Vets story.
Fox 17 News' Dennis Farrier has this morning's Farrier Files.
Sometimes the brightest light can emerge from the darkest moment.
We met Sarah Lee back in 2018, struggling with survivor's guilt and thoughts of suicide. Sarah got on a bike, hoping to purge her demons, to find a path forward again.
That was part of the issue for me, was I wasn't living a life worthy of my friend's sacrifice. Whether you've deployed or not, we all know someone that's died on our behalf. We feel a debt that we can't repay.
Those 4,000 miles on the road led this combat veteran to a bold idea. Maybe not repayment, but something close. WaypointVets.org, to help vets rediscover themselves and purpose through adventure trips with other vets, doing difficult, teamwork-oriented activities in places of staggering beauty.
It humbles you, it ignites you, and the camaraderie mixed in there, really, you get to do a lot of inner work that you're not even necessarily aware of that's happening. It just happens so naturally. And so people are making major changes in their lives after our trips.
People like Lori Rhodes, a 32-year combat veteran who retired from the military, lost, suicidal, and hopeless after she lost her mother. She went on a Waypoint Vets trip, distracted and mourning until a red hail talk flew right by her exhausted face.
And Sarah reached over and grabbed my hand and said, "That's the Indian version of a cardinal, and that's your mama telling you it's okay." And so from that second, I stood up and I heard all the stories and all the veterans and all my brothers and sisters, their joy, their pain. I laughed. I was a child again.
Now Lori is the Chief Operations Manager for Waypoint Vets and the trip chef. She's not an exception. She's the rule. 25 trips. The waiting list for adventure trips never drops under 200. This little nonprofit is actually saving lives.
It's so many. So many of our veterans have really come around and felt themselves come back to life. Many of our veterans had plans to end their life prior to the trip, and having that trip to look forward to helped them push through. And then once they were on the trip, rediscovering and redefining themselves really empowered them to make some major changes and to choose life.
Thank you for supporting Waypoint Vets.
So you're wondering how you can help. You can help by going to waypointvets.org. Their big fundraiser is tomorrow. It's a motorcycle ride. Scenic Loop at 11 a.m. begins and ends at the Gallatin Elks Club, and then live music and lunch. Again, waypointvets.org is 100% volunteer. They do have an amazing donor match. They have someone who matches dollar for dollar. So anyone, and her motto.
Here we go.
Here we go, gun
Here
show.
we go.
There we go.
Welcome to the gun show with Doe, and he throws the
throws
coat.
Bravo.
But
Honor the fallen by living.
I mean,
where are we? There we are.
What a testament to finding your purpose, right? And realizing that your life is worth living, especially when you're honoring one that was lost.
And that's the genesis of this. She lost a friend there, had survivor's guilt, but then realized, like, I'm not honoring him. But I'm not I'm not living meaningful.
Incredible.
And now the meaningfulness, right?
Yeah, this is a community that needs so much help. We've talked so much over the years about veteran suicide, unfortunately, through music and through other different things that are out there. This is just one more step here to try to help this community cope with what the things that they've been going through.
Absolutely, and that number's gone down. You know, that number we used to always talk 22, 23. It's in the teens now, still way too high, of course, but it has come down, and I think it's because of...
We need more of this. Stuff just like this.
Right.
Dennis, thank you so much. Always love having you here and your stories. 7:20 right now. Let's send it over to Greg.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
Coming up in your Code Red forecast, taking a look right now at top of the radar. Not much happening in the Nashville area. It's died down just a touch. We'll track that rain in and out of the area momentarily.
Steer clear traffic, a new crash to tell you about. This one's at I-65 at Harding Place. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear from the south side.
Nailed it. Looky, looky, looky. Here comes Cookie. Cook's Pest Control.
Tommy Anderson and Jay Cash, auctioneers and real estate brokers, present the Federick Estate in Franklin, Tennessee. An updated 5-bedroom brick home in a sought-after location backing up to a private lake. Saturday, May 4th, 10 a.m. Conducted by James R. Cash, auction style.
7:23 is the time. Metro Police are now confirming at least one person was hit by a car. They say it happened this morning on I-40. This is right at the exit for Donaldson Pike there at Nashville International Airport. Now, I know people walk up and down this area all the time from the hotels nearby trying to get over to the airport. You won't believe the people towing luggage up and down Donaldson Pike.
Yeah.
This all happened around 1:45 in the morning. We're told that person has been taken to the hospital. There's no word yet on exactly how bad the injuries are or whether or not the driver will be facing any charges. We'll keep you updated on this story as we learn more.
And we've been talking all morning long about all the things happening in Nashville starting tonight. We've got the Nashville Sounds playing the Norfolk Tides, looking for a win after 3 straight losses. So maybe they can get some momentum here on a Friday. It is a Fox 17 Fireworks Friday night. Our own Caitlin Miller is throwing out the first pitch.
Professional athlete.
She is, by the way. Also tonight, it is API Heritage Night, a special night celebrating Asian and Pacific Islander culture.
Yeah.
I got a look at the jerseys they're wearing for tonight.
Yeah.
Celebrating API culture.
Yeah.
They are sharp. So they've got really cool new jerseys for tonight. First pitch set for 6:35.
Let's get to your forecast. Greg Bobis is standing by here with a look at how things are shaping up as you want to get out there. So it was hot yesterday. By the way, did we get the record high?
We didn't quite because the clouds got here about an hour early.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that kept us just 2 degrees shy. So we got close, though.
Okay.
And you could tell me it was hot either way. Upper 80s, 90 at that point. Hot is hot. Taking a look here at the forecast. Now we're talking about rain. We've transitioned away from the upper 80s. Those won't be back on the 7-day until the middle of next week. So we've got a nice little break here. Taking a look at Doppler, nice little break and the steadier rainfall in the Nashville area. We're going to see a few more pop-up little showers throughout this morning, but the consistent steadier rain has made its way off to the east of I-65. Now it's a slow mover. This has not covered a lot of real estate here in the last couple of hours. We'll keep our eye on it, though. I want to track it out of here for you. By about 10 o'clock, most of that rain is done. Just a few little hit and miss showers like we're seeing west of 65 right now. That'll take us into late morning, early afternoon. That is your window of opportunity to see our least amount of rainfall on the map. Taking a look at 5 p.m. We do have the sounds tonight. We have the Nissan Stadium concert with Morgan Wallen tonight. There will be a few pop-up showers and storms. Now, you didn't see anything track directly over Nashville. Doesn't mean that it won't. The timing there will be 5 p.m. through about midnight when there will be these isolated showers and thunderstorms. It's not going to be severe weather. We're not in code red, but they definitely could put a little damper, quite literally, on your plans later today. Plan for rain, have the umbrella. Also follow protocols when it comes to what rain gear you can and cannot take to Nissan Stadium if that is part of the game plan for tonight.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. That is where we are dealing with the crash in that area there. As you can see, there's a lot of emergency crews on the left-hand side of your screen lined up on the shoulder. And then on the right-hand side of your screen, we've got a tow truck that's pulled over in the grassy area. And now we can see the truck that we could not see before. That truck apparently lost control at some point, went over into the tree line, and now they're retrieving that truck out of the way. So we've got disturbances on both 65 north and south. They've now brought everything to a standstill on 65 coming south into town right before that particular junction. The tow truck is out there is why. They've stopped everything because the tow truck, you may be able to see it at the bottom of your screen. It's getting in position to tow more of these cars away.
Move it fast.
To steer clear of all of this, you wanted to use Ellington Parkway or Dickerson Pike to steer clear.
Man, that turned out to be a real mess, kind of hidden in the tree there. All right, Justin, thanks. Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning. How does Metro Nashville Public Schools measure up nationally when it comes to paid time off for workers? We're going to answer that question in minutes.
Later. Those rewards credit card, you can save 5% every day. You got this, and we got you.
Injured? Call Morgan & Morgan. For the people.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Just about 7:30 now on Fox 17 News This Morning. Music City will have huge crowds starting today. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar will join us live in moments with everything you'll want to know before you go.
And weather will be a huge implication for a lot of those events. We'll pinpoint that hour-by-hour forecast for today, tomorrow, and the end of your weekend.
Steer clear traffic. We are dealing with a mess there on the north side. I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. This is not the only place we've got a crash. We'll tell you about some other areas of town coming up shortly. Just after 7:30 here on this Friday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we begin this half hour with continuing coverage of a big impact story for all of Middle Tennessee this weekend.
The city is preparing for a very busy weekend, especially when it involves country music star Morgan Wallen's concert there at Nissan Stadium. You combine that with Bridgestone Arena hosting Game 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Preds and the Canucks.
Plus, we've got the sounds at home tonight. We have graduation ceremonies here in Nashville for all of our colleges and universities, and all of that is going to create a traffic nightmare if you're not prepared, but that's where we come in. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live this morning, telling you everything you need to know before you head out.
It's crazy. Around 50,000 people are expected to show up to the Nissan Stadium behind me for day 2 of the Morgan Wallen concert alone. I'm going to go myself, and I'm not planning to drive. Here's why. Traffic. Even down this road, we should be expecting to see bumper-to-bumper traffic. Officials say the traffic will be so bad that the Woodland Street Bridge will close around 5 this evening to cars and will only be available to pedestrians and WeGo buses. They say the James Robertson Parkway or Jefferson Street are preferred routes. There will also be several other events in the area, including the Preds game. Fans should expect heavy traffic around Bridgestone Arena by late afternoon and are asked to arrive downtown early to find parking. Officials say parking on the Nissan Stadium campus is by pre-sold permit only. So the spokesperson for Metro PD tells us how you can avoid a headache.
Rideshare is a great option for getting to this week's concerts. There will be 2 rideshare pickup locations near the stadium after the show. One will be on Crutcher Street. The other, and this is new, will be on Interstate Drive. There will be a dedicated pedestrian walk path by Juvenile Court to get to Interstate Drive due to the construction on the Nissan Stadium campus.
But if you do decide to bring your car, Metro Police says that to please leave your valuables at home, and if you do have valuables inside your car, to lock them up to avoid a break-in. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Taking a look here at 7:32 and breaking down the forecast because, yes, when you've got that many people in that small of a space, you don't want to have downpours and thunderstorms and have to take the protocols to get people cleared out of the stands. We're hoping that does not happen here. Taking a look tonight and tomorrow, there is a chance there will be action on the radar. There will be some showers and some storms this evening and also tomorrow evening. So both concerts we have to watch very carefully. Just because there's action on the radar doesn't mean it goes right down town. So there will be some hit and miss storms that will develop. We'll watch those temperatures just so you know what you're getting into as far as those are concerned. Both nights very similar. Upper 70s drop us to down near 70 degrees by the time we reach 10 o'clock. Bridgestone Arena, not going to worry about rain inside, but getting there. 82 is the forecast high for today. There will be isolated storms leading up to the 6 p.m. puck drop. Little rain on the radar right now. This is a very, very active day when it comes to the events outside and the way the weather is going to treat you. Rain gear for today, a high of 82. We'll go for 82 degrees once again tomorrow and mid-80s for Sunday.
Steer clear traffic gets you out the door like this. Let's go to I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass where we've got crashes on both sides of the interstate. You can see it there on the right-hand side. That's going north, leaving town. We've got the tow truck fully loaded up now with that pickup that left the road and ended up in the tree line there. Couldn't even see the truck at first, but now they've got it loaded up and ready to go. And then on the other side of the road, still multiple cars involved in that crash. We did have a tow truck get into position to take a car away in that area as well. So in either direction, you want to take Ellington Parkway as a good way to steer clear. Also still following that crash happening in the Kingston Springs area. Looks like things are getting better as you make that drive in from the west side.
7:34 right now, and a nonprofit government watchdog group called OpenTheBooks.com has found Metro Nashville Public Schools' paid time off policy is so generous, you ready for this, that hundreds of people have 6 months or more of unused time that is accumulated.
We are joined right now by Rachel O'Brien from OpenTheBooks.com with the findings. And Rachel, just how many days of unpaid time or paid time off do Metro public school employees get, and how are they using them?
Yeah, so employees get between 10 and 25 vacation days every year, depending on how long they've worked for the district. They get 12 sick days. They can bank those days if they don't use them. And so you see a lot of people accumulating a lot of sick days, especially. They also get some personal, professional, and religious days, so that when they add up, it adds up to a lot. So there are 600 people who have accumulated 6 months or more of this time off. And those are people who work for 30 or 40 years in the district. So the average person has about 44 days off accumulated, which is 2 months of working days. So the average principal has almost 3 times as much. Principals, on average, have about 5.5 months of days off. And so this amounts to tens of thousands of dollars for people. And so teachers, they don't use a lot. They don't get a lot of vacation days. They use their vacation days mostly. They have a lot of sick days that they can cash in.
It's so interesting, Rachel. I know we're going to talk about how this compares to other districts, but the end goal here, just curious, is it to cash out at the end when you leave, like in the form of a paycheck? What does that look like? Because you can't, or do they take that time off? What does that end up looking like?
Yeah, so people can carry some days over. They can only accumulate up to 50 vacation days, which is actually a lot. 50 days, right, of working days is about 2.5 months, almost 2.5 months. Sick days they can accumulate throughout their entire work time, and yes, they can cash them out when they leave. Okay. And so that is the sort of the purpose of saving these days, is so they can get a check at the end of it.
You get a little bonus or something, if you will. All right, Rachel O'Brien, thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate you. By the way, if you ever want to read more, head to fox17.com.
Well, an entrance fits for a country legend. We're going to tell you why Tanya Tucker is celebrating in a big way on Broadway.
And a very good Friday morning to you. It is May 3rd. A couple different live looks right now for you. We've got the skyline of Nashville, top left, going to be off and on rain for the day. So just go ahead and throw the umbrella or the rain jacket in the car with you. Bottom right is...
And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Well, check this out. If you were out and about on Broadway yesterday, you may have seen quite a sight, and that is the country music legend Tanya Tucker making her grand entrance to the grand opening of her tequila bar there in downtown, and she couldn't just stroll up there just any kind of way. Look at that. There she is on horseback. They're on Broadway.
Not the first time she's done this. It's kind of become her signature move. And so, yeah, as Justin mentioned, she went to give a little concert and a party to her pop-up tequila bar at Nudies. Look at that cowgirl hat, too. Look at the rhinestones.
Oh, yeah.
That is pretty. They had a big party, and we met a father-daughter duo who made the special trip just to see it all. Meet Joe and Ella.
When my dad was growing up, Tanya was his favorite singer, and so I've grown up because he's my dad, like listening to her my whole life, and this has been something we've done together. Like, we've gone to Winona, Reba, but Tanya, we've gone like literally all over the South to see her.
Well, Tanya Tucker's new pop-up bar is on the second floor of Nudies, as Jim mentioned, there in downtown Nashville. She's the second woman to have a bar named in her honor there on Lower Broadway, or I should say the second woman country music artist. There are other bars down there.
Yeah, it was funny too, because Tanya, when we interviewed her just the other day, she was giving it to Miranda Lambert. She said, yeah. She said Miranda Lambert got here first. She beat me to it, but she said that's okay. I still love her. And Miranda Lambert has Casa Rosa right there on Broadway.
Let's talk to Greg. He's got a look here at the forecast. I know a lot of people very, very excited. As a matter of fact, one of our coworkers here at Fox 17 has got a daughter graduating from college this very weekend. He's so excited to get out there to the ceremony. So
the big thing is
weekend for that.
Piecing the puzzle together and, you know, what we have to prepare for, but then always hope for the best. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the big weather story right now and then break it down on future track. Let's take a look at the big three things. It will be tracking showers and storms periodically throughout the weekend. It will not be raining the whole time. Okay, so that's the first part. It will be active, but again, not raining the whole time. Not as warm either. We'll be in the low 80s for high temperatures. Right now, we're on the right side of your screen. We're in the 60s. Now, some showers that are out there that are dying down. Most of our morning hours will get a little bit drier, but stay fairly overcast. And then a few showers and storms pop up. And around the storms, we'll have some pockets of some sunshine. This is 5 p.m. into the evening hours. Those pop-ups, again, very hit and miss and very similar tomorrow as well. Here's tomorrow at 8 a.m. and then 8 a.m. takes us into the afternoon. Prepare for the possibility of showers and storms for any outdoor activities because these will sporadically pop up throughout the afternoon and evening.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get you to Bradley Parkway and County Hospital Road. We were just watching a disabled vehicle here not too long ago. They've been able to get that vehicle up and out of the way, so no more problems there on that west side. Good to see. Still dealing with some minor delays over here on the north side. This is 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass there. Keep in mind the rain fell pretty heavy earlier in the morning, so you're going to run into some streets that are still wet. To get past some of these accidents, you can use Ellington Parkway, Dickerson Pike to steer clear.
Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning, we are live at the courthouse in downtown Nashville for continuing coverage of a deadly fight at the Tin Roof that's now in court. How this case could change legislation with Peyton Hughes in minutes.
Plus, navigating the Middleton.
When you start small, you need some big help, and Chase Inc. was that for me.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:46 is your time. Continuing coverage this morning as we take a look at the case involving a now former Midtown bar security guard who faces aggravated assault charges after police say he punched a patron at the bar, leading to that man's death.
Now, in court this week, a judge decided that the fate of this case will be in the hands of a grand jury. Fox 17 News, Peyton Hughes, live outside of the Metro Courthouse there, the good old Birch Building in downtown, with the latest on this case.
Yeah, good morning, Justin and Jen. So one of the topics mentioned right through those doors, Dallas's law, which requires more training for licensed security guards.
If you could, just for the court, describe what Dallas training teaches.
Trains you to on how to de-escalate situations and how to handle intoxicated individuals.
Almost 3 summers ago, Dallas Jordan Barrett was asked to leave Whiskey Row on Broadway. Witnesses say Dallas fought with security guards who forced him onto the ground and held him on the floor. Dallas's law is a direct response to Barrett's death, which requires security guards to get a license and complete de-escalation, safe restraint, and CPR training within 15 days of landing a job. What happened between the 36-year-old former Tin Roof bouncer Richard Cornelius and 26-year-old Austin Turner on February 18th? A detective testified on Wednesday along with 2 bouncers. Turner was asked to leave the bar, and he did. Somehow, he gets back inside, Cornelius sees him, escorts him out, and that's when a fight broke out. The defense attorney claims Turner put his hands on the bouncer first. I pulled the bouncer's licensing records. Cornelius was in compliance. His license was active until the state suspended it after what took place at Tin Roof. Taking a deeper look into his training, he did complete Dallas law training in December of 2022. Andrew Bergman worked as a bouncer at Tin Roof that night.
Have you seen the video in this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Because that's not de-escalating the situation, is it?
No.
Dallas's law training for unarmed officers can be completed online. One piece of the law Austin Turner's family would like to change.
We're dealing with people who are intoxicated, that are belligerent, or their emotions are heightened and elevated. That's not going to be something that you can get from an online training.
The family says that they would like to name these changes Austin's reform in his honor. Reporting live at the courthouse, Peyton Hughes, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
If you're new to Nashville, important tools and ways that you can stay safe during severe weather season. Of course, having that way to stay alert. Our QR code here will give you that Code Red Weather app. Ways that you can stay safe is making sure that you're staying on top of the latest weather information. I want to talk a little more about our tornado facts here in Middle Tennessee. On average here in Middle Tennessee, we see about 10 tornadoes, and these are all statistics from 1950 to 2023. Some years we see more, some years we see less. It just depends on our weather pattern. Of course, the best place you can be during a tornado warning is going to be in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, in an interior location. That may be a bathroom for your house. It may be a closet. If you have a basement, even better, but away from windows is really where you want to be, in an interior location. A lot of these tornadoes come from, and especially the ones that we've been talking about in the Central Plains the last few days, come from these types of storms. These are called supercell thunderstorms, and in the corner is where we typically find the tornado. This is what we call the hook echo, maybe language that you've heard before, but another type of thunderstorm complex that we get thunderstorms and tornadoes from come from these severe lines, or what we call our QLCS in meteorology terms. So supercells can form here in Tennessee, but they're not as often as what we see with these complexes of thunderstorms. These often produce low-end tornadoes, EF 0, 1s, and 2s, and they're a little harder to pick out, which is why it is so important to have those ways to stay alert. Now, on average, we tend to find more of our tornadoes March, April, and May. That's our traditional severe weather season, but we are starting to see a secondary severe weather season emerge, especially in the last few decades, October, November, and December. Case in point, here in Middle Tennessee, it's important to stay weather aware all year round. So reliable ways to have those weather alerts include the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, making sure your wheel alerts are turned on as well. Those would be like the Amber Alerts that you get on your phone. Tornado warnings will come over your phone the same way, making sure that that is triggered on your phone. Weather radio is a great backup tool to have, and then of course staying up to date with the latest information when there is severe weather possible in the forecast through television, social media, and the web. All of these are great ways to stay alert here with Tennessee weather.
Thank you, Katie. Time right now is 7:51. Taking a look at the forecast for you here. Currently, nothing to worry about when it comes to severe weather, thankfully, but those are all good notes to have because we are getting into severe weather season. I use that term kind of loosely because when you live here, if you are new to Nashville, as Katie was saying, we can get severe weather any time of the year. We've had some rough tornadoes in the month of December. So just always be aware of the forecast. Pollen, hey, it's gone down a little bit. You might actually make this face later when you walk out the door. What? Yeah, pollen's down today and tomorrow because of all the rain. So yes, we are dodging some showers this morning. We're still warm, but at least the sniffles should go away for a couple of days. Upper 60s right now, close to 70 degrees. We're on our way to 82 this afternoon. Believe it or not, even though we're overcast and those showers are out there, we could see a few glimpses of sun this afternoon. There will be more scattered showers and thunderstorms, but this afternoon brings with it more dry hours than rainy hours. It really is having the radar and the Code Red Weather app to kind of see where those showers and storms are at and dodge them as you're heading out and about.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass there. We continue to follow that crash on the shoulder of the road as that crash gets less and less busy every time we put our cameras here, which is great news. You still want to use Ellington Parkway or perhaps Dickerson Pike to steer clear. Let's get you to drive times. Haven't been able to do this in a little while because we've been so busy showing you accidents. Kingston Springs into town at 34 minutes. We had to slow down there a little bit earlier. Murfreesboro, just over an hour getting in on I-24. Franklin looking pretty good. Coming in from Cool Springs and places like that from I-65 at just over 30 minutes.
Graduation season is underway. We've got the latest on what's happening on the campus of Vanderbilt University in the midst of ongoing protests.
Thank you for waking up with us each and every morning on Fox 17 News this morning.
Unstoppable. Let's make it happen. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Happening this weekend, very busy here in the mid-state. We have graduation season kicking off on top of all of the entertainment events that are happening. This morning, we know Tennessee Tech will celebrate graduates in Cookeville over on the Plateau, Lipscomb, University and Tennessee State University will have their commencement ceremonies tomorrow.
Well, concerns have come up surrounding Vanderbilt University's commencement ceremony. The location for this year has changed, and some people believe it's because of the Israel-Hamas war protests on the campus. But the school's chancellor told the student newspaper, the Vanderbilt Hustler, that the changes this year are not because of the protests, but instead because of the Predators. He says the school cannot hold the ceremony at Bridgestone Arena because of tonight's Game 6 playoff game.
All right, there you go. You know, we were wondering about that yesterday. Now we have our answers. Tonight, a love scheme that's breaking some bank accounts, and it's all a scam. We're talking about con artists here in the U.S. raking in billions of dollars, and those scammers behind the keyboards know exactly what they're doing. Whether they're trying to play the long game with you to gain your trust or using artificial intelligence to create fake people, they have scammed so many out of hard-earned money, and once that money's gone, it is almost impossible to get back.
My whole thing is don't become a victim. I personally have dealt with a half a dozen victims here right in our area who were victimized in this scam.
Coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, we've got the red flag warnings that you just cannot ignore.
7:57, closing in on 8 o'clock. A little bit of the rain has left the Nashville area for now, but we have the wet pavement and the residual effect on the grass as well. So can you mow the next couple of days? Not likely. I mean, you may get enough dry hours that creep in throughout the weekend where you get a 4 or 5 hour period that you get a little bit of sun, but I would just say plan to just have the grass keep on growing here for the next couple of days. Rain has moved mainly off to the east and the south of Nashville right now, but we're not done with it. More pop-up showers and storms will arrive throughout the morning and the afternoon, which we'll look at, but also talking about tomorrow, another event. Yeah, Nashville SC at Chiodas Park. They take the pitch at 7:30, 78 degrees, 75 at 8 and 73 at 9 p.m. Tomorrow, much like today, afternoon and evening will come with a few hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. Plan for rain for any of your outdoor events.
Steer clear traffic takes us down to I-65 at Moores Lane. This is coming in from the Franklin area. There on the south side, you can see for yourself there, traffic moving along very nicely. No big problems on this side of town. We had some earlier issues on 65 near Fern Avenue. Let's get you over there. Yes, they're still there on that scene. We'll continue to watch that. But right now, things have started to calm out there for your steer clear traffic. Good news.
They're here. So many of you have already seen the cicadas in Middle Tennessee, or if you haven't seen them, you've at least heard them making plenty of noise while they're trying to find their mates. But they're not going to be around for long. This is that historic brood X that we've been telling you about on top of another brood that's hatching right now in different parts of the country. This map from the U.S. Forest Service shows us what we're expecting to see here in the mid-state and southern Kentucky. In the green are the brood 19 cicadas. So Nashville, Davidson County included in that zone. Where you see the yellow are other broods that experts say probably won't emerge this year. And then if we had the brood 13 in our area, that would show up in red, which we're not seeing right now. So we just encourage you, if you're seeing them or hearing them and you want to send us your great shots, you can do that at fox17.com. Just go to chime in. And in the meantime, we asked, have you seen any yet where you live? Right now, 69% of you say no. If you want to vote and then leave us a comment or heck, even a picture, just scan the QR code right there on your screen.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Several events are bringing thousands of people to downtown Nashville tonight. Coming up, I'll tell you, well, you'll be seeing road closures and traffic, plus what you can do to make sure that you can avoid some of these heavily congested areas.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, Representative Justin Jones will get to keep his name on the ballot. We're going to tell you why a challenge to remove it failed overnight.
And waking up this morning to some showers, just very hit and miss right now, but that's going to be the pattern really for most of this weekend. We'll try our best to find the most likely dry hours coming up in a few minutes.
8:01 is the time. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Erica's off today. We're your live local news source through 9 a.m. And I do want to get you updated on the breaking news we've been following this morning from Murray County. Somebody or some people vandalized and damaged Spring Hill High School overnight. As a result, school leaders confirming to us this morning they have to be closed today. Whatever happened there overnight, and by the way, we're still waiting to get visuals on that. But whatever happened was severe enough that school leaders said they have to close the high school for today. Law enforcement out there right now looking into exactly what happened. I can promise you they are looking through any and all surveillance video. You can see a neighborhood very close to Spring Hill High School, along with whatever security cameras are on campus. And I'm sure that that is going to at least provide some clues. So damage to Spring Hill High School, vandalism as well, has it closed for today. We will keep you updated as we get any more updates from Murray County.
8:02 checking in on the forecast here, and rain may have woken you up hitting the windows overnight, even a few rumbles of thunder in our southern counties. Now no thunder, no lightning, and the rain for the most part has made its way out of the western portion of Middle Tennessee. You can see there are still a little sprinkles and a few light rain showers, and those will be trickling in and out of the area throughout the morning. But the steady, consistent rain that impacted most of us overnight, that's tracked off to the east. So now we're just playing the game of dodge the shower, find the sunshine. That's how we're going to be for the rest of this morning. Late afternoon and this evening, another round of thunderstorms begins to fire. It will be weak, but they will be there. We're going to repeat the exact same pattern of today going into tomorrow and Sunday. No one's guaranteed to stay dry the whole time, but most of us will have a really good chance of seeing many more dry hours than rainy hours. Definitely wet pavement out there all around the Nashville area. Not actively seeing many downpours yet. Or I should say, as of right now, we've already seen the wet pavement from the showers we had overnight. Tracking the rest of today, here are those pop-ups afternoon through the evening. Small, but they could give you some decent downpours and limit visibility for your drive home and when the kids get home from school.
Steer clear traffic gets you out the door this morning. Let's get you north of town at I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. That's where we are dealing with the leftovers of a crash there in that area, so beware about that. You can use Ellington Parkway to possibly try and steer clear of that particular crash. We're also following a brand new one that we've just picked up. This one's going to be on I-24, very close to Hickory Hollow Parkway. We'll bring you live pictures from that scene coming up in the next few seconds.
It's 8:03 right now, and happening today, country star Morgan Wallen will take the stage live at Nissan Stadium. Right behind us here. This is going to be night 2 of a 3-night concert series. Right smack dab in the middle of this concert series is his court date, which is today, but Morgan Wallen will not be there for it.
Now he's going to court, or was scheduled to go to court anyway, because of a slew of charges involved around throwing a chair from a rooftop bar last month. Now, we showed you a red circle of what may have been that chair there on video. That chair landed about 3 feet away from a couple of Metro police officers. His attorney says that his appearance was waived because it was not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, his presence will be required for a concert tonight if they're going to have that. 50,000 people expected to show up for night 2 of his 3-night stay there at Nissan Stadium.
And that is one of several events as we get ready for a really busy weekend here in Nashville. We've got the Morgan Wallen concerts, the Preds at home tonight. The Sounds are at home. We have graduations underway. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to break down what you'll need to know before you go, especially if you're going to be in downtown.
Looks like I'm going to be joining that huge crowd as well. I'm going to be going to the Morgan Wallen concert later tonight here at the Nissan Stadium behind me. And although I'm very excited for that, I'm not excited for the heavy traffic that is going to come along with it and the long lines. Now, this isn't just hundreds of people. This isn't just thousands of people. Officials say that over 50,000 people are expected to show up to downtown Nashville tonight, not just for the Morgan Wallen concert, but also for the Preds game. And officials say the traffic will be so bad that the Woodland Street Bridge will close around 5 this evening to cars and will be only available to pedestrians and WeGo buses. They say the James Robertson Parkway or Jefferson Street are preferred routes if you need to drive to or from East Nashville. Preds fans should expect heavy traffic around Bridgestone Arena by this afternoon, and also are advised to arrive downtown early to find parking. Officials say parking on the Nissan Stadium campus is by pre-sold permit only. Don Aaron, the spokesperson of the Metro Police Department, says the best thing to do is take a rideshare. But what about safety? With the crowd as huge that's expected tonight, here's his answer.
Our entertainment district unit, the police officers you see downtown Thursday through Sunday nights, is very much aware of the concerts this week, and it will be paying close attention to downtown parking areas.
And you know, we're hearing about a lot of break-ins that are increasing around Nashville. So one of the things that Metro Police wants people to look out for is what they have in their car if they do end up bringing it here to Nissan Stadium, to any of these events. They want you to lock them up in your car to safely or to leave them at home. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Coming up next, a combat veteran goes from near suicide to saving people from suicide. It is a remarkable story from a Nashville woman with a remarkable heart. That story's next.
It's a great one, too. Can't wait to hear that from Dennis. A couple live looks right now. We got a crash at I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway that Justin is monitoring, plus more live weather updates every few minutes through 9.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. Fox 17 News investigates, providing you more details, more context, more clarity on stories that matter to you.
The blue tarps do not tell the whole story. In fact, they cover up some really nasty stuff.
Watch Fox 17 News tonight at 9.
Zaxby's has been perfecting chicken fingers for 30 years, and now we're going to the sea. Shrimp butterflied and fried to perfection, and a perfect blend of Zax sauce and cocktail sauce called Zax Tail Sauce. The perfect southern fried shrimp meal. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things. Like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Yeah, she knows. And some people don't. Like, come on. Yikes. No. You know there's a better way. Call or visit Allstate.com to bundle today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This bathroom's so musty.
Damprid's new fast-acting drop-in tab attracts and traps excess moisture, eliminating musty odors.
At Alive Hospice, we know the challenges that come with end of life, and we get to tell people it's okay to not be okay.
And we get to care for them and their families through it all.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom, only on Fox 17 News.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
Well, a Nashville combat veteran continues to save lives. Sarah Lee has gone from considering suicide to now living a life of purpose.
And this turnaround is part of the Waypoint Vets story, which our own Fox 17 News Dennis Farrier joins us live now to talk more about.
And you know what a waypoint is, right? It's a place you have to arrive before you get to your destination. Sometimes the brightest light can emerge from the darkest moment.
We met Sarah Lee back in 2018, struggling with survivor's guilt, thoughts of suicide. Sarah got on a bike, hoping to purge her demons, to find a path forward again.
That was part of the issue for me, was I wasn't living a life worthy of my friend's sacrifice. Whether you've deployed or not, we all know someone that's died on our behalf. We feel a debt that we can't repay.
Those 4,000 miles on the road led this combat veteran to a bold idea. Maybe not repayment, but something close. WaypointVets.org, to help vets rediscover themselves and purpose through adventure trips with other vets, doing difficult, teamwork-oriented activities in places of staggering beauty.
It humbles you, it ignites you, and the camaraderie mixed in there, really, you get to do a lot of inner work that you're not even necessarily aware of that's happening. It just happens so naturally. And so people are making major changes in their lives after our trips.
People like Lori Rhodes, a 32-year combat veteran who retired from the military, lost, suicidal, and hopeless after she lost her mother. She went on a Waypoint Vets trip, distracted and mourning until a red hail talk flew right by her exhausted face.
And Sarah reached over and grabbed my hand and said, "That's the Indian version of a cardinal, and that's your mama telling you it's okay." And so from that second, I stood up and I heard all the stories and all the veterans and all my brothers and sisters, their joy, their pain. I laughed. I was a child again.
Now Lori is the Chief Operations Manager for Waypoint Vets and the trip chef. She's not an exception. She's the rule. 25 trips. The waiting list for adventure trips never drops under 200. This little nonprofit is actually saving lives.
It's so many. So many of our veterans have really come around and felt themselves come back to life. Many of our veterans had plans to end their life prior to the trip, and having that trip to look forward to helped them push through. And then once they were on the trip, rediscovering and redefining themselves really empowered them to make some major changes and to choose life.
Waypoint has their huge fundraiser tomorrow. It's a motorcycle ride. Scenic Loop at 11 begins and ends at the Gallatin Elks Club, and then live music and lunch for non-motorcycle riders. WaypointsVets.org is 100% volunteer. They have an amazing donor who matches all donations. So if you give, $20, it's double down. It's 40, and it's saving lives. And I mean, you just heard even the Lori who worked there, it completely changed her life. She just got married. She thought I thought I was incapable of being in a relationship. Yeah. And now I'm happily married because I'm whole.
Wow,
well,
what a great story.
It is, and sharing stories like this on our platform that we have here, both on air and online, right through the website and our social media pages, it's just showcasing, I think, the power of good that can be done, and so much that is still left to do.
Yeah, giving other people hope out there.
Yeah, we love our veterans, right? We love them, and we want them to be okay.
Yeah.
We just do.
We appreciate you, Dennis.
Right. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
Coming up in the forecast, rain coming down now, and we were just getting started here. The weekend riddled with on and off showers and thunderstorms. We'll lock down the timing the best we can and work you through your morning coming up in a few.
Steer clear traffic at I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Crash that had injuries involved. We'll tell you about the best ways to steer clear.
Man, it has been a doozy of a morning on the roads. We're going to get you around it. And hey, if you're going to stay in a hotel in Clarksville, you're going to have to pay a little bit more.
For the people.
.17 is the time. 3 years ago, the city of Clarksville purchased the Roxy Theater. You can see a picture of it right here behind me. The theater opened up in 1947 as a movie house, but then in the 1980s, it began hosting live events like plays and concerts and stand-up comedy. But city leaders have a vision for something much bigger. They want a building with multiple stages, multiple theaters of different sizes. Think about TPAC, but for Clarksville. Now that needs investment, and that's why the city is now adding a 2.75% tax on hotel and motel rooms across the city. They've never had a tax on their hotel rooms before in Clarksville, and some are in deep disagreement about whether or not this is a wise investment.
This is exactly what this will bring, is a source of entertainment. And I agree. I think people will come in from out of town to see a play that's being put on as far as by the Roxy, but by the Performing Arts Center. But again, what's been mentioned before about all the other opportunities that we have to be able to have there. You can actually have more than one show going on at one time. You can have dance competitions going on. There's all sorts of different opportunities that we can have to bring entertainment and bring people to this community.
However, we're sitting up here saying, yes, it will bring people to Clarksville, but then they're going to go down the street to stay somewhere else. So we're getting an arts center, but they're going to go stay somewhere else because it's too expensive for them to stay in Clarksville.
By the way, the city did spend $110,000 for the Roxy Theater back in 2021. The measure did pass. It's unknown exactly how long it would take to make changes here to the Roxy.
8:18, look at the radar right now. Not as active as it was, say, 3-4 hours ago, but still a few isolated showers dotting all around the Nashville area and going up toward Clarksville, Hopkinsville. The most steady rainfall, Crossville up through Monterey, Cookeville, McMinnville, and Tullahoma. What does this mean for the rest of today? Let's get the track in here as far as future track and what not just today will look like, but also tomorrow, because a lot of events happening in the next 48 hours, from graduations to concerts to the Preds at Bridgestone. It involves us having to go outside at some point to get to them. So here we go, even if they are indoors. 10 a.m. I've been saying all morning long, and this continues to confirm that late morning into early afternoon is our best chance to see a little break in the rain across the board. Not a guarantee, but it's our best chance. This is the afternoon toward the evening, though, 5 p.m., taking us through the later stages of the evening, and there are going to be hit and miss showers and storms. Now, it's going to be very hard to tell where they're actually going to track to until they begin to develop throughout the afternoon. They'll be quick movers. Most of our day is going to be on the drier side, but these pockets of rain will linger. Tomorrow morning, very similar start to a few showers, and then the afternoon, once again, 1 o'clock through 5 p.m., they bubble up, and then they die down. So a few claps of thunder, some pockets of some heavy rainfall, no severe weather. We're not in code red, and temperatures going to start in the 60s the next several mornings. The afternoons going to be in the low 80s today and tomorrow, and then back to the middle 80s to round out the weekend. And if you're kind of sick of that upper 80-degree heat, well, it returns Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Steer clear traffic as you get out the door this morning. Let's get you a live look over at I-24. This is at Hickory Hollow Parkway over there in the Antioch area. This crash was involved with some injuries here. I saw first responders helping someone get out of the car and into an ambulance a short time ago. So this crash is going to hang with us for a little bit. You can try to take Murfreesboro Pike to steer clear because they have shut down 2 lanes as they continue to deal with that particular crash. Good news from the north side. This is 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. We did have a crash here in both directions of this particular interstate. Both of them have now cleared, so you're in much better shape getting in and out of North Nashville. Continuing coverage of the petition to remove State Representative Justin Jones from the Tennessee General Assembly ballot. Now we're talking about the primary ballot in this case. The Davidson County Election Commission voted overnight to allow his name to remain on that ballot. Now the candidate, Laura Nelson, did challenge the signatures on Justin Jones' petition to run again. Keep in mind, in order to run or to qualify to run, a person needs 25 signatures from voters within the district that they're running in. Representative Jones got 26. One was ruled ineligible. Laura Nelson, who's also running, first accused Jones of not submitting his evidence on time and then challenged some of the signatures, saying that they did not match the previous signatures or were at least misspelled. Representative Jones presented affidavits that he says has proof that people did identify, that the people identified did in fact sign that particular petition. The next step is for the Davidson County Election Commission to officially set the ballot. They're scheduled to do so later today. A Tennessee attraction tops the list of
State in Franklin, Tennessee. An updated 5-bedroom brick home in a sought-after location backing up to a private lake. Saturday, May 4th, 10 a.m. Conducted by James R. Cash, auction style.
Hey there, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 8:25 and new this morning, Dollywood is reportedly the top global attraction where most people want to return.
Wow.
That is according to a new study conducted by the travel insurance specialist Insure and Go.
Now, they found that Dollywood had the highest comeback score of more than 450 landmarks worldwide.
Really?
The company says that online reviews praise the park for its fantastic food and decorations, especially during the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
Disneyland came in at number 2 in this study that was followed by Stone Mountain Park in Georgia.
Move over, Disney. Get out of the way.
I need to see the full list.
Get out the way. Dollywood.
Stone Mountain in Georgia came in 3rd.
Dollywood reigns supreme.
It's an interesting list.
You know what, too? Hey, they talked about the food at Dollywood. The grist mill cinnamon bread is reason enough to go to Dollywood over and over and over again. Even if you don't ride a ride, you don't see a show.
Is reason enough to go and pay admission?
Yes, for the cinnamon bread.
For the cinnamon bread.
It's enough for the cinnamon bread?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I'm telling you right now. I'll bring some back next time we go.
I'm gonna hold
you can
you
freeze
that,
it.
by the way, too.
Okay.
All right, now maybe you're not getting cinnamon bread at the Preds game tonight, but you might be able to get a hot dog and then cheer on the Preds here. Game 6, if they win, they force a Game 7 back in Vancouver. 82 degrees will be our high temperature outside, of course. There will be some isolated showers and storms. Plan for that, but also be aware of the policy of what you can and cannot take into Bridgestone. If you do have tickets, if you're going to any of the watch parties that are outdoors, make sure you are aware of the fact that there's going to be the chance for a few pop-up showers and storms during game time itself.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is coming in from the Antioch area. Heads up as they continue to deal with this injury crash. They were able to move it from one side of the interstate to the other. So that is certainly great news as you make that drive in from Antioch. Things may be a touch slow still. And to get around anything happening out there, you can always use Murfreesboro Road. We're going to tell you about some of the other sides of town. And trust me, there's plenty coming up in a few.
Thousands of people are expected to come tonight to downtown Nashville for several events. Coming up, I'll tell you what you can expect and what you can do to be prepared.
And hey, if you're looking for a great breakfast tomorrow, I wanted to give a shout out to the Robertson County Kiwanis Club Pancake Breakfast Fundraiser. It's happening tomorrow morning at the Robertson County Fairgrounds. I'm going to be out there bright and early flipping flapjacks. So come on out and see us.
Touchdown! Saturday at 2 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Alive Hospice. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, Music City will see massive crowds this evening there at Nissan Stadium. Our reporter Karen Aguilar has the details on what you need to know as far as parking and traffic before you go.
And Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live in moments from the courthouse in downtown Nashville with continuing coverage of a deadly fight at the Tin Roof Bar and how it could change legislation in our state.
And a round of rain that pushed through overnight in the Nashville area has us with some damp pavement. We've got a gloomy, overcast sky. We'll plan your entire weekend for you in the most opportune moments to possibly see some sun.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 8:30 on this Friday morning. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. 30 minutes to go. Let's make sure you're updated before you walk out the door.
The city is preparing for a busy weekend. You can say that every weekend about Nashville. Let's not kid ourselves. But this weekend in particular has got some unique attractions, and that includes the country music singer Morgan Wallen's big concert there at Nissan Stadium, and that comes with lots and lots of traffic.
Yeah, and whether you're there for the concert or one of the other several events in and around Nashville, traffic could be an issue. We have Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now to break down everything you need to know before you head out.
Around 50,000 people are expected to show up right here behind me to the Nissan Stadium for the Morgan Wallen concert alone. That's a lot of people, and I'm going to be one of them. But what I'm not planning to do is drive. I'll tell you why. Traffic. Officials say there's going to be heavy traffic tonight in downtown for several events, not just the Morgan Wallen concert, but also the Preds game. And they're asking people to be prepared. Officials say that the Woodland Street Bridge will be closed starting at 5 o'clock this evening. It'll be closed to cars, but people can walk through the bridge, and WeGo buses are allowed to go through it. Preds fans should expect heavy traffic around the Bridgestone Arena by late afternoon, and they are being asked to arrive early so they can have time to find parking. The spokesperson, Don Aaron, for the Metro Police Department, tells us what you can do to avoid a headache.
Rideshare is a great option for getting to this week's concerts. There will be 2 rideshare pickup locations near the stadium after the show. One will be on Crutcher Street. The other, and this is new, will be on Interstate Drive. There will be a dedicated pedestrian walk path by Juvenile Court to get to Interstate Drive due to the construction on the Nissan Stadium campus.
If you decide to take a car, you have a parking permit, or you just decide to brave it, police say that you should leave any valuables that you have at home, or if you decide to bring it in your car, to secure it, because there has been an increase of break-ins in cars that we've been hearing over and over again, just to keep safe and make sure that everybody has a good time. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:33. One factor you have to keep in mind as well is the policy of what you can and can't take into the stadium, because if you're planning for rain, the poncho is going to be your best bet. Yeah, umbrellas not a thing you want to try taking into Nissan Stadium. Taking a look here at the forecast, we've got a couple of showers that are still out there. The most consistent steady rainfall is out toward the Cumberland Plateau now. It is light to moderate. It's not too heavy, and we have no thunder or lightning. We had a few rumbles overnight, but those have been long gone. Nashville area will work its way into a few more little sprinkles and light showers throughout the course of the next 2-3 hours. Our most likely dry time is going to be right around lunchtime before we see a few more showers begin to work back in. We have just got a really stuck weather pattern. There are 3 different clusters of showers and storms here across the eastern half of the country, and they've just not really gone anywhere in the last 6 hours. So we're going to continue to have those rounds move in. We're fairly active the entire weekend. What I mean by that is there will be rain on the radar almost all the time, but not necessarily at your house the whole time. So many dry hours working in, and high temperatures today will be in the low 80s.
8:35 is the time. Taking a look at your steer clear traffic. This is going to be Proudly Parkway at Elm Hill Pike. There in the Dallison area, we are dealing with a crash there on the shoulder of the road. At one point, multiple lanes were shut down. Now you just got to watch for it there at the ramp from Elm Hill Pike onto the interstate. That's where the major slow up is. We'll continue to watch other areas of town coming up in a few.
Continuing coverage now as we take a closer look at the case involving a now former Midtown bar security guard who faces aggravated assault charges after police say he punched a patron at the bar, leading to that man's death.
In court this week, a judge has decided that the fate of this case will be in the hands of a grand jury. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse live outside the courthouse this morning. Peyton, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Justin and Jen. So one of the topics mentioned through those doors, Dallas's law, which requires licensed security officers to get more training.
If you could just, for the court, describe what Dallas training teaches.
Trains you to on how to de-escalate situations and how to handle intoxicated individuals.
Almost 3 summers ago, Dallas Jordan Barrett was asked to leave Whiskey Row on Broadway. Witnesses say Dallas fought with security guards who forced him onto the ground and held him on the floor. Dallas's law is a direct response to Barrett's death, which requires security guards to get a license and complete de-escalation, safe restraint, and CPR training within 15 days of landing a job. What happened between the 36-year-old former Tin Roof bouncer Richard Cornelius and 26-year-old Austin Turner on February 18th? A detective testified on Wednesday along with 2 bouncers. Turner was asked to leave the bar, and he did. Somehow, he gets back inside, Cornelius sees him, escorts him out, and that's when a fight broke out. The defense attorney claims Turner put his hands on the bouncer first. I pulled the bouncer's licensing records. Cornelius was in compliance. His license was active until the state suspended it after what took place at Tin Roof. Taking a deeper look into his training, he did complete Dallas law training in December of 2022. Andrew Bergman worked as a bouncer at Tin Roof that night.
Have you seen the video in this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Because that's not de-escalating the situation, is it?
No.
Dallas's law training for unarmed officers can be completed online. One piece of the law Austin Turner's family would like to change.
We're dealing with people who are intoxicated, that are belligerent, or their emotions are heightened and elevated. That's not going to be something that you can get from an online training.
The family says that they would like to name these changes Austin's Reform in his honor. Reporting live at the courthouse, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, we're going to show you a special moment.
Oh, boy.
At Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, boy.
Don't worry. It's the drink is kid friendly. 8:41 is the time. Listen to this. The Nashville Predators and their fans witness a very cool father-daughter bonding moment that you really don't get to see every day.
You know, some dads take their daughters to see like Frozen or something. Fuzzy things with his kiddo, but check this out. The former Titans offensive lineman, Taylor Lewan, had just chugged a beer for the Jumbotron at Tuesday night's Preds playoff game, and then his daughter took up the challenge in her own way. She just had water, and by the way, she beat her dad.
Chugged it full 10 seconds there. There's Taylor Lewan doing the Taylor Lewan thing, drinking the beer.
Goodness.
You know, in the past, he's drank the beer through a catfish one year.
Gosh.
So, I mean, this is just a classic moment. Of course, Taylor Lewan, the former Titans offensive lineman, retired now and enjoying life, you would seem.
You know,
As they should be.
And he shows up just about everywhere. He and I were out at a Sounds game one night, throwing out a pitch together.
He's like that.
Loving his city. Taking a look here, one thing you will love in the forecast, even if you hate the rain, pollen counts will finally be down because of steady, consistent rounds of rain that we're going to see. They'll be down today, not bad tomorrow. Getting into next week, they'll climb right back up to where they were earlier this week, but just at least we can breathe easy getting out the door, quite literally. And the rain is not going to be every hour of the day, so find those dry times to get outside. Temperatures will be in the 70s to right near 80 degrees around lunchtime. Yes, there are lightning bolts here on the graphic, but it's not storming or raining everywhere every hour. Get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, check out the radar. You can find those opportune moments to get in and out, but those chances for rain are there all day long.
Stay clear traffic. We continue to follow that scene in the Donaldson area. This is going to be Bradley Parkway at Elm Hill Pike. We are dealing with several cars there on the shoulder of the road right as you get on the ramp there from Elm Hill Pike and Donaldson Pike, Elm Hill Pike and Bradley Parkway. So just be advised, not causing huge backups, just something to watch out for. Still dealing with that crash at 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Making that drive in from Antioch, you can use Murfreesboro Pike to steer clear.
And still to come, we have a very special guest joining us in studio. You're going to meet Augie from the Murray County Animal Service.
Experts in showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We are joined right here by Kim Rafa and Augie coming in from the Murray County Animal Services. And Augie down here is looking for a brand new home and got a very special story, Kim.
Yes, Augie here, he's been with us about 6 months.
Okay.
He is a really, really good dog. He loves kids. He loves to play. He's super smart. He's like that pointer. So he loves to be in the water. He'll love to fetch a ball.
Now, Kim, tell us a little bit about Augie as far as his age. Do we know? I've already had somebody, I posted this on Facebook like 10 minutes ago, and somebody already asked me how old is Augie?
He's about 2 years old, so he's at that stage where he's settling down. He's got rid of all those puppiness out of him. You know, on the way up here, I was just telling everybody, he really craves attention. He kissed my face all the way up. He had his nose on my shoulder.
Sweet boy.
And you know, sometimes when people see them, they think, oh, he's got a lot of energy. He really just wants touch and be with people.
He is treat motivated. I noticed.
He's very treat motivated. He's very smart.
Good boy.
Yes, that's a good boy.
Kim, trying to find a dog with the right temperament for you and your family is very important. Obviously, Augie here has got a little energy to him, but you know, there are other dogs who may be more laid back. Trying to find something that fits what you and your family doing, whether you have a big farm maybe with lots of land or you live in a condo downtown.
Yes, we try to fit with the best personalities for the family. We require a meet and greet with each dog. Augie here does play with other dogs.
Great.
We also try to post a lot about their personalities on our social media, our Instagram and Facebook pages. Pet Finder is a really good way to find out information,
Sure.
and we get back to people right away.
Kim, I cannot get over how calm he is right now, even with all the studio lights and the commotion in here. What a good boy. I can just imagine him playing with a family and finding his good forever home.
Yes.
Can I give Augie a treat?
Absolutely.
Do you have one
Please
on here?
do.
Come on
over.
We stopped at Starbucks this morning because he very much loves.
I have the treat.
She's
Yeah,
got the
Justin does have. Oh, good. Can you sit?
Sit.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Look,
Good
and
boy.
so what a good take on the treat too. So gentle. What a good boy.
So, if you want to...
and he shakes. Augie, you're going to get my heart. I'm going to take you home with me.
If you want to take Augie and make Augie your dog's your to a new forever home is what I'm trying to say.
Good job.
Augie. Okay, sit down.
How do you find out more details about Augie out there?
Well, we actually have an open house this weekend, and we have our Empty the Shelters campaign going on through Bissell Pet Foundation.
Okay.
So all adoptions are $25. Come see us. We're straight down 65 in Columbia, Tennessee.
Looking forward, Kim Raffoff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to updating everybody that Augie got a good home. All right, we're going to send it over to Greg. He's got the weather. I'm wondering, Justin, did you have treats in your pocket? Augie, did you have a little snack stuck in there?
Got nothing on me this morning, nothing.
I am enamored, so why don't we just keep the dog theme going here? And our two dogs of the day, one of them is a senior rescue dog. So let's just keep getting all the dogs the love. Here we have Harper and Josie sent in by the Duncan family. So if we're getting our four-legged friends all the treats and ready to go, I should not be using that word right now. I usually use it to make your dogs triggered at home, but that's not fair to Augie. It's going to be a really easy morning right now, but later on today things will get a little bit different. We're going to have wet pavement all day in the Nashville area, especially in the Cumberland Plateau where it's still actively raining. We're dodging some showers here. If you have the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, that's a very good way to look at the radar when you're moving around and going about your business. You can find a way to get them outside. Taking a look here. How do you send us your dog of the day? Go to meteorologist Greg Bobus, the pin post right there that has my little mail carrier four-legged friend. She'll get your photo right to me, and that's how we show them right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Wash or wait when it comes to your car? Wait. I would not do it until the middle of next week. We have showers and storms periodically throughout today. There will be a few batches that move through during this evening. There'll be a few more showers and storms morning, afternoon, and evening for Saturday and Sunday. That's not a specific timeline. That's just how it's going to be. The radar is going to be active. However, most of us get more dry hours than rainy hours. So the pop-up variety of showers and storms. Not much real change in heat Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll wake up with temperatures right near 60. In the afternoons, especially in the areas that don't get as much rain, we'll end up in the low to middle 80s.
Let's get to your steer clear traffic happening out there to the very latest at Bradley Parkway at Elm Hill Pike. This is in the Donaldson area. We are continuing to clean up a crash right there at the entrance ramp from Elm Hill Pike onto the Bradley Parkway area there. So heads up, just a small inconvenience, not that big a deal, just something to be aware of. Don't take that curve too fast. There are crews up there. All right, here's 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is over in the Antioch area. Crews continuing to work that crash that did have some injuries earlier in the morning. You can get by, but you may want to consider Murfreesboro Pike as a good way to steer clear.
Morgan Wallen expected on the big stage at Nissan Stadium, but not in court today. We've got all those details as we wrap up here in just a few minutes. Plus,
hurry, Champion's buy two, get two free sale is for a limited time.
That's a great deal. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
hey, in case you missed it happening today, country star Morgan Wallen will be playing Nissan Stadium again tonight. He had a show last night and then another one tomorrow night.
That's
so
right.
A big concert series at the same time, but he's got his court date after police say he threw a chair from the top of Chiefs Bar downtown.
Yeah, but he's not going to be going to court. His attorney says that his court appearance was waived because it is not required to advance the case. Meanwhile, there's going to be around 50,000 people expected at Nissan Stadium tonight for night 2 of his 3-night stay there at the stadium.
Metro Nashville Dispatch confirming to Fox 17 News this morning that somebody got hit on I-40 early this morning. That person on the interstate right there by Donaldson Pike at the airport. Crews responded to the scene around 1:45 this morning. We do understand that pedestrian who got hit did go to the hospital. We're still working to find out how that person is doing and whether the driver involved will face any charges. We'll get you updated at fox17.com throughout the day.
Let's take one last look at your forecast with Greg Bobus.
Yeah, a little gloomy right now. There'll be a few more light rain showers this morning. The best chance to see a little bit of sun will come middle of the afternoon. Now we're going to have a few more showers and storms that take us afternoon through this evening. They're going to be the very small hit and miss variety that you'll see on the radar. It's not washing the day out, many dry hours, and then we repeat the process for Saturday and Sunday where it's not raining a lot. We're just talking about on and off throughout the day. So
I want you to head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
John McEwen. John, it's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you, Eric.
You know, especially when you've got an incredible new album out now, The Newsman, that came out this past April 12th. How did you come up with the concept of The Newsman with poetry, music, spoken word, everything?
Well,